I just want to say, do you know what today is? It's your special day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I wish they all could be California girls. I wish they all could be California girls like you. Talking about Taurus lady, and you're fine as wine. You are truly go diver, chocolate diva, goddess like no other. Thank you, Sister Tiara, for being a friend, supporter, and so much more of Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2 the Artivist. I know we never met in the flesh, but I have met you in spirit, my fellow Taurus sister. You are truly a shining star, no matter where you are. I want you to keep on shining that light, amplify your light. Let it shine so bright, shine brighter than a diamond. And I want to thank you for believing in you, for being you, for seeing me, for believing in me, for loving black men, for raising a black son into a man, into a God, into a true manifestar, like you are, sister. So I want to thank you. I hope you have amplified blessings of longevity, good health, real wealth, peace, love, and happiness, and so many more years of black grown woman joy, peace of mind, and everything you can think of. Receive all that is owed rightfully to you, sister. May the righteous ancestors continue to bless and protect you and yours. And I look forward to meeting you one day soon. Thank you. You give me hope. But God in his universe, so God in his infinite wisdom only made one like you. There's nobody like you. You are truly beyond category. Enjoy your day, and may every day be a celebration of you. All of you. Why not take all of you? I can see there's nobody like you. So we love you madly, sister Tiara. Thank you so much. And know that the best is yet to come. Artivist signing out. I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know it's Tiara or Tara. I hope you can't correct me in person in the near future. But I want to say also it's truly an honor to be a part of the same herd as you. You know, we Tauruses, so you get in herds. You're talking about. See how it works. Okay, so thank you, sister. Keep on shining and enjoy. And welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Ron, your friend, R2C2H2 the Artivist. It's been a long time, but we are back and we all be land. News free Dixie for the 21st century. And today's date is May 13th. Let me see, make sure. Yes, May 13th, 2021. Just try to get used to things, getting back in the swing of things. Thank you, brother Real Bird, man. Junior's up. All is good. He's back. Good. Thank you, Cream City 414. Thank God for the wonders of technology. Right or wrong, left or right. It's good to have these things. But it feels good to get back in the swing of things. So much has happened since I've been on so-called hiatus. You know, there's been a lot going on. I didn't expect to stay away for so long, but had a lot on my mind, things going on in my world. And the world don't stop for nobody. It keeps on spinning. It keeps on turning. So thank y'all for coming in. Miss you all. G-Mars, we love you madly. Like I said, I just want to get my spin on things. A lot of times I don't feel the need to really talk about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people are talking right now. There's no need for me to always weigh in on everything and anything out there. Yeah, I had to get refreshed. Yeah, but I was just thinking about a lot of things. There's been a lot of things in my mind, personal as well as not so personal, but you know, it's interesting. You know, got some good news today. Actually, I've been dealing with an issue. Actually, been dealing with a hole in my foot for most of the year. That's another story. I'm not going to gross you out with pictures or whatnot, but everything's moving in the right direction now. Reached out to the right people. It's interesting. You know, black doctor helped me out. Black nurses. It's something about the medical establishment and black people. A lot of us don't want to seek the help because we know the history of this country, how it treats black folks in the so-called medical industrial complex, the medicine, not medicine, medicine. But I was blessed enough that the righteous ancestors and universe soul God pointed me in the right direction to get the stuff straightened out. So I'm on the right track with the healing. And thank God for having a praying black mama. We just celebrated Dear Mama Day on May 9th. It was Mother's Day. So I want to, you know, thank all the praying black mamas out there and all the black women that love black men, that raise black sons to be men. And this is why I'm dedicating tonight's show the sister Tiara Jones, who's celebrating her birthday. She's a Taurus lady. Celebrate her birthday. She's a great supporter of this platform. She loves black men. She loves black people. She loves the black skin that she's in. She's a beautiful chocolate sister. So I want to dedicate tonight's show to her. One of the reasons I want to do something because she didn't really want anything except for people to love on each other and to support each other for her birthday. It's like that's the thing with Tauruses. We always about loving on people, supporting people, being loyal to the people. So this, I guess that's a Taurus thing. Because as y'all know, I want to thank y'all as well for helping me celebrate. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. I hope you'll let me know if I'm not coming in loud and clear. Yes, I come in peace. We all be in it to win it. We all be in love. All this stuff. I want to thank everybody who supported me on my birthday. Actually, you know, I had to postpone the trip I wanted to take for my 40th birthday because of the COVID situation last year. As you heard, the CDC have lifted some of the so-called restriction on wearing masks, but people still are scared. Yeah, it is definitely Taurus season. There's a lot to talk about. I'm a Taurus. And we're known for being great communicators. You know, Minister Farrakhan just had his birthday on May 11th. He's a Taurus. Brother Malcolm got his birthday coming up on May the 19th. Tauruses are great at using, you know, music, media, whatever, to communicate ideas and stuff like that. But I want to thank everybody who supported me on my birthday, which was April 23rd. I really felt the love. I didn't know, people that, was rocking with me like that. I really appreciate that because this platform is really supported by melanated people. Most of our support comes from black people, people of color. So we are supported by the people, and y'all been checking in on me through texts and voicemails and emails, wondering what happened to Brother Ron. I'm gonna have to file a Ebony alert or something like that. A Brother Man alert, I said, what's going on with Brother Ron? But I just really been traveling, documenting things, collecting stories and things of that nature to share with you all. Got a lot on my mind, got a lot of documentation I would like to share over the coming weeks. Just bear with me as I get these shows together, Because a lot of times people think that, you know, these shows are easy to do. They are simple, but they're not easy to do, especially if you care about informing the people with the right type of information and pointing them in the right direction. Thank you, Sister Doris LeGrand. I received that. We love you madly as well. Y'all take care of y'all health, because self-care is the best form of health care. Sometimes to be selfish is to care for other people, because you can't do anything if you're not here. And I also get a shout out. May 13th is the birthday of also Dr. Christian Gregory, the dutiful son of Baba Dick Gregory. He celebrated his birthday. Taurus is it's Taurus season. You know, that's why I got along with him so well, I believe, because he's a Taurus like I am. So he's celebrating his birthday today, the 5-1, and we're going to have him on in the very near future to talk about some great things going on with his father's legacy. There are a couple of projects coming out of Hollywood that's going to highlight and celebrate the legacy of Baba Dick Gregory. Thank you. I receive all that and write black at you. Yeah, she's a beautiful sister Tiara. She's gorgeous, beautiful inside and out, and she's anything but average. Has an amazing backstory, but she's a beautiful sister. Hope she's enjoying her day, the anniversary of her debut. But there's a lot of things that we get into, and y'all know, a lot of people love about the entertainment and whatnot. Let's talk about, okay, congratulations, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just announced their inductees, and congratulations to the likes of Jay-Z and LL Cool J and Tina Turner. She actually was already in the Hall of Fame with Ike Turner, right? She's already in the Hall of Fame with Ike Turner. So she's coming in as an individual performer, but it's good that she's getting her flowers, right? It's good she's getting her flowers. And they got a couple other people that made the Hall of Fame, which is cool. But my thing about the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just like the Oscars, just like the Grammys, just like the Golden Globes, I don't really care. Not that it's not, something to be celebrated for people to get their accomplishments acknowledged, but there's a lot of people that are left out of these things, and this is a travesty. It's a miscarriage of justice, right? So I did not know that the great Charlie Patton is just now getting into the Hall of Fame. I thought Charlie Patton was already in the Hall of Fame as an early influence, and I was dead wrong. You're dead wrong. Biggie Smalls, Tupac, all these folks got in before Charlie Patton. Charlie Patton is the reason why we have a Robert Johnson, who was one of the first members inducted into our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in the 80s, right? And I'm a big Robert Johnson fan, king of the Delta blues singers, guitar virtuoso like no other, died tragically young at the age of 27. Amazing legacy, right? But his hero is Charlie Patton. Charlie Patton came before Jimi Hendrix. He set the standard for playing with your teeth and, with bottles and stuff like that. Slide guitar, all that stuff. He was a consummate performer. Spent most of his life traveling up and down throughout the Mississippi Delta, even all the way to New York City and other places recording. Died relatively young. I believe Charlie Patton died either in his late 30s or early 40s. But he just now getting the Hall of Fame. It's kind of weird. But there's also a lot of people. I don't know about Dion. That's a good question. Thank you, Sister Barbara Williams. We love you madly. Thank you for checking in with us. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for checking in. But the Hall of Fame is not the end-all be-all. I know they were in a bidding war back in the day where the location of the National Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will be. And Memphis was up for it. Memphis was one of the last places they were considering in having the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame headquartered, be this official home. And you could make a great case, of course, for Memphis being the official home for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but we lost out to Cleveland, Ohio. You could make a great case for Ohio. Its influences like King Records for James Brown, King Records in Cincinnati, and the funk, the soul, everybody, Isley Brothers, everybody coming out Ohio. Ohio got a great music legacy. And also DJ Alan Freed, the white dude, the white disc jockey who promoted rock and roll, who helped coin the phrase, I guess, rock and roll, promoted it on the radio, who allegedly is credited with having the first official rock and roll show, even though I think it was canceled. I don't think it was officially held, but he's credited as being a rock and roll pioneer. DJ Allen Freed, who's from Cleveland, I believe, Ohio, or got his career started in Cleveland. So I mean, it is what it is. It's all politics, but there's a lot of people that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's the travesty. Cause I mean, LL Cool J, to me, quite honestly, he should have been in there before maybe Tupac and Biggie. Definitely Biggie, but Tupac is an interesting story. Tupac influence is bigger than rap. He really is phenomenal, a global icon. His status is bigger than the rap game or in hip hop. But LL Cool J, you could make a case he should have been in there. He's arguably the greatest rapper of all time. And Jay-Z, y'all know how I feel about Jay-Z. He's my number 2 on my list. So, it's a no-brainer. But what about Johnny Ace? I keep on making the case for the late, great Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace should have been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an early influence because some consider him to be the first rock and roll star. This guy from Memphis, Tennessee, dropped out of Booker T. Washington High School, the same Booker T. Washington High School that produced Maurice White, the architect and founder of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, Aretha was abducted, rightfully so. Yeah, born in Memphis. Folks from Mississippi, definitely Mississippi Delta girl. But I think with Tina, they want to give her flowers because Tina was on her way out. Allegedly, this last time in America was going to be her last time in America because she's really having health problems. She's about 81 years young or something like that. So maybe they're trying to just give her flowers, her last hoorah before she check out of here to, because she already been abducted as a part of Ike and Tina. And no, Ike Turner, he don't get the props he deserves, and that's another story. But and also she got his last name, and we had Judge on here talking about Tina. But my thing is, there's people like Johnny Ace should have been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because Johnny Ace started in the Bill Streeters with B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Roscoe Gordon, Junior Parker, Earl Forrest. Them cats, giants in their field, right? And back in the day, if you're gonna get like Johnny Ace as your headliner, you had to either book B.B. King or Bobby Blue Bland or Little Richard as the opening acts. And all those names, we know their legacy is secured. Numerous Hall of Fames, well known in pop culture, but Johnny Ace has been forgotten about. And what's interesting is Johnny Ace's granddaughter is Legacy, the neo soul singer who just won her first Grammy not too long ago. But a lot of the people that played with Johnny Ace are no longer here. Big Mama Thornton is gone, of course. Johnny Otis is gone. B.B. King is gone. Bobby Blue Bland is gone. I think all the Bill Streeters are gone. Like I told Bobby Blue Bland the year before he died, when I met Bobby Blue Bland, I said, look, you Bill Streeters like the Wu-Tang Clan of R&B and blues. He looked at me like, hey, what you talking about, son? You better put some respect on our name. I said, oh, let me hold up, Mr. Blue Bland. No disrespect. I mean, the Wu-Tang Clan like the Bill Streeters of hip-hop. He said, that's right. Then I asked him about his label mate or his teammate, whatever you want to call him, Johnny Ace. He said he was a fine singer. So he said he was open to talking with me, but, his wife wasn't having none of that. And then the next thing I know, Bobby Blue Bland is dead. And I actually attended his funeral, his homegoing, off the road, fresh off the road from Houston, Texas. I was on a road trip to Houston, Texas, came back, attended his funeral. They didn't allow the black press to record his funeral. They let CNN record the funeral. And I have yet to see any, footage of the whole entire funeral. I got some footage and audio from the funeral. Talked to the late, great Otis Clay, unsung R&B singer with Chicago roots and stuff like that, but great soul singer and gospel singer. I wish I would have interviewed him before he passed because he was open to being interviewed by Brother Run and We All Be. He actually was a fan of ours because of our interviews with Dick Gregory. But it is fascinating that people have made the case for the late, great Johnny Ace. Even in Memphis, Johnny Ace has no brass note on Beale Street, which is ridiculous because there are people, our brass notes are an equivalent to the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame. Like the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is equivalent to that, right? And it's an insult that Johnny Ace, John Marshall Alexander Jr. has no brass note on Beale Street for his contribution. And he died really young at 25 under questionable circumstances. He was playing around with his gun backstage doing a Christmas concert down in Houston in the City Auditorium Christmas night, 1954. Playing around with the gun, according to witnesses, had his girlfriend, Olivia Gibbs, on his lap. Had his wife back home in Memphis with 2 kids, 2 young kids, right? Young wife with 2 young kids. And Big Mama throwing him and say, why don't you point the gun at yourself? And to prove a point, he said, look, the gun is not loaded. And soon he said that and pulled the trigger, he shot himself in the head. And they say he had a very surprised look on his face. His funeral was at Claiborne Temple in Memphis on January 2nd, 1955. And I believe the Bill Streeters served as his pallbearers. So, like, this guy, at the time of his death, he was probably the most popular black male singer in the country and arguably the first rock and roll star. That was December 54. His biggest song, Pledging My Love, came out after he died. So he couldn't even enjoy his biggest success, right? He dead at 25. This song has been on numerous soundtracks, like that car movie, Stephen King car movie called Christie or something like that. They play Pledge My Love, then Harvey Keitel's star vehicle, The Bad Lieutenant, which is a good movie. They play Pledging My Love. I believe the last song that was recorded by Elvis was Pledging My Love before he passed away. And it's interesting, you compare Johnny Ace with Elvis. Johnny Ace is from South Memphis, grew up in a home. Elvis was from North Memphis, grew up in the projects. And as soon as Johnny Ace checked out of here, Elvis star started rising, which is an interesting comparison because you think about Elvis was a white dude that sounded black. Johnny Ace was a black dude that sounded white. He had that crooner type of voice like that. He was a crooner type of dude, but also people thought he was the first rock and roll star, but the women loved him. Black women, black girls loved Johnny Ace. But unfortunately, he's not remembered today, but he should have been in the Hall of Fame as an early influence. It's an insult not to have Johnny Ace in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we talked about Petey Wheatstraw on this show several times in relation to Robert Johnson. Petey Wheatstraw was the most popular blues singer of his era. He came up in the same era as Robert Johnson. He lived about 3 years longer than Robert Johnson, died on his birthday night doing a beer run. His car ran into a train, a sitting freight train on a railroad in East St. Louis on his birthday. But his birthday was December 21st, and it was 1941. His death, along with the other people in his car, his death made national headlines. This is back in Jim Crow America. They acknowledged that this black man died on his birthday at the age of 39. I mean, it was major newspapers, the Billboard, other music industry media outlets. They noted that Petey Wheatstraw made his transition on his 39th birthday. But years later, now people think about Petey Wheatstraw, they're thinking about Dolomite's character, which is based on Petey Wheatstraw, the blues singer, because Petey Wheatstraw had the claim, said, I'm the devil's son-in-law, the high sheriff of hell. And then you also got the fact that people want to take the Crossroads myth and attach that to Robert Johnson. So basically, they taking Petey Wheatstraw's legend and made it Robert Johnson's legend, and then Dolomite made it a movie decades later. And if you listen to Petey Wheatstraw, hey, he sounds like Robert Johnson, or Robert Johnson sounds like him. Hey, y'all, I hope y'all can hear me and see me fine. I think y'all let me know. Thank y'all. Sister Jessica, thank you for tuning in. I believe you brought this shirt I'm wearing right now. This is an inspiration to Lieutenant James Reese Europe. I call him the Jazz Lieutenant. I wrote a book about him, the Jazz Lieutenant. But I'm wearing this shirt because today is the anniversary of him getting buried and getting a funeral, getting the first public funeral in New York City history. He had his funeral back in May 13th, 1919 in New York City. And it was the first time a black person was given a public funeral in New York City's history. And he was actually killed during a concert up in Boston back on May 9th, 1919. You know, James Reese Europe was the leader of the Harlem Hellfighters jazz band. You know, Harlem Hellfighters was the most decorated military unit from America during World War I. They won more medals than anybody, but they were disowned by Uncle Sam. They were adopted by the French, became the 369th Regiment under the French, but they were known as the New York National Guard Regiment, the 15th National Guard, or something like the 15th Regiment, New York's National Guard unit, whatever. Y'all get my point. Y'all look all this up, right? But he was stabbed to death by his drummer during a concert over a misunderstanding. He died at the hospital. He bled out. So he was just 39 years young, just like P.D. Wheatstraw was just 39 when his car ran into that train on a beer run for his birthday, December 21st, 1941. But nobody really talks about that P.D. Wheatstraw. And he was born in Ripley, Tennessee, but I believe he was raised in Cotton Plant, Arkansas. And he's buried in Cotton Plant, Arkansas, in a cemetery down there since the 40s. They put they got a tombstone on his grave marking where he's buried. But, Dolomite is from Fort Smith, Arkansas as well. That's the place where Bass Reeves, the real Lone Ranger, would take his prisoners he would catch. He'll take them to Fort Smith, Arkansas to stand judgment before the hanging judge, Isaac Parker. So, I mean, it's a lot of history here, but he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they're just now putting Charlie Patton as an early influence. That's ridiculous. He was a major influence on Robert Johnson when he was making his way through the blues scene down the Delta. So, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Vanessa Bell Armstrong. Like I tell people, I think it's interesting. I'm related to Vanessa Bell Armstrong. She used to be real close to one of my great aunts, Aunt Tilly, who passed away back in 2004. They used to be like bosom buddies and they had a falling out. But Aunt Tilly was like one of the top historians of our family. I never met Aunt Tilly, but she led a very interesting life as well. I mean, she got into a lot of things. She was a madam, was a numbers queen for the Detroit mob, really was a woman, was a Jackie of all trades. She was a great culinary artist. A lot of the jazz musicians, when they used to come to Detroit back in the day, they would come to her home to smoke weed and eat good food. Smoke good weed and to eat good food. To smoke weed every day. But yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm related to her, Vanessa Bell Armstrong. I got another cousin, Big Clarence Miller from Kansas City. One of them Kansas City shouters. Those are guys who could just sing with no microphone, with no amplification. They could use their voice. They were so loud. Like Joe Turner, all them guys. He was part of that. Jimmy Rushing. That's his peer group. Then, of course, Curtis Mayfield, of course, Marvin Gaye, and Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who's also from Cotton Plant, Arkansas, like P.D. Wheatstraw. Peace, brother Marcus LaRue. Thank you for the LaRue was a name, I think, of Clifford Brown's wife. He did a song called LaRue. And Clifford Brown was a great trumpet player who died young. I believe he was about 26 years young. Got killed in an unfortunate car accident on the Pennsylvania Turnpike back in the 50s. He got killed along with Richie Powell. This is the younger brother of Bud Powell, who was also a pianist. And his wife, I believe Richie Powell's wife, was driving the car. They was on their way to Chicago to play with Max Roach and Sonny Rollins. So there's a lot of history. Thank you, Sister Duckworth, for tuning in and not tuning out. But yeah, congratulations to Tina Turner. People say, well, Brother Ron, you had Judge Joe Brown talking about Tina Turner on your platform. I said, well, Judge is entitled to his opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion, and we'll leave it at that. We could agree to disagree on a couple of things. I do not agree on everything that Judge says about Michael Jackson, but Judge is very much entitled to his opinion about Michael Jackson. Thank you, Salvador Fernandez. Appreciate you, brother. We love you madly for tuning in. Great welcoming back present. I appreciate that. But I had a chance, along with my sister, Mo Thomas, and my mom, the beautiful Callie Hurd. We went down. It took a Mother's Day trip or whatever on Friday, pre-Mother's Day. We went to Brownsville and Nutbush, Tennessee, to pay our respects to Tina Turner and to our roots and culture, not knowing that Tina Turner would be, getting this honor of being recognized by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an individual performer. So we would just, I guess it's just the spirit of the times, the zeitgeist, or the Ron Geist, as we call it here on We All Be, of the times. So I'm gonna play that tribute I did for Sister Tina, and also I'm gonna play, Judge Joe Brown. So y'all can remind me, get down with Judge Brown, Judge in the house, Judge in the house, Judge in the house, Judge in the house. Okay, we're gonna play his take on Tina and Ike as well. So we try to bounce it out on We All Be. I'm just trying to get back in the groove of things right now. But yeah, it's fun. I'm glad I'm back. I'm just checking out. I hope y'all can see me. This Wi-Fi stuff. Got to get a better Wi-Fi connect. I think everything's coming in okay. And it'll do for tonight. But yeah, it's good to be back. I'm just trying to get Emma LaRue Anderson. Okay. I don't know. Is that Clifford Brown Sr.'s wife you were referencing? I'm not sure. I'm kind of rusty right now, but I guess that's somebody you related to. We'll straighten it out. Let's straighten it out. We'll straighten all that out. But let me just play my tribute to Sister Tina, because also in Brownsville they got her home at the I think the West Tennessee Museum out there, West Tennessee Museum, because she's from Nutbush. That's in West Tennessee, not that far away from Jackson, Tennessee, or Memphis, Tennessee. Nutbush City. Nutbush, or just like Flatbush. No, it was Nutbush. So we're gonna give a tribute to Tina. Thank you. Well, I love we got an educated crowd. Yes, Clifford Brown's wife. I don't know if they still doing the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival up in Wilmington right now, because I wanted to go to that one year. I don't know what the COVID situation, because they do a free jazz festival. They were doing a free jazz festival in honor of Clifford Brown. To me, I love Clifford Brown more than I love Joe Biden, who's also from Wilmington, Delaware, I guess. But he's a son of Delaware, Clifford Brown was. And we get into it. But let me play my tribute. Be right back. Make everything okay, and we'll get into the show. There's a lot of things I want to cover, but we'll see what we can do. And this is We All Be, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. That's News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I gotta find it. And we salute Tina Turner on this recognition. Regardless of what you think about her politics or how she interpret her legacy, we still love her madly. See if I got everything situated. I think y'all heard that. I don't know. I'll know soon enough if y'all heard that or not. My little trumpet horn salute. But I also want to play Judge, of course, his infamous take on the Tina Turner legacy. Play that.
Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
I gotta ask you too, because Tina Turner just made her last visit to America, and she got this HBO documentary out where I guess they bashing Ike, you know, all this stuff. I know you tell some stories about Tina Turner.
Yeah, I encountered Ike a lot when I was growing up in LA. He and Tina had matching Rolls Royces. If you got Ike, he'd always roll the window down. He always had a dude riding with him. And Ike would stop and talk to us. He'd send his guy off in the Rolls to come back. He'd get burgers for everybody, so many fries, would be throwing them away and Cokes and everything. And he would talk to us about staying in school, don't do drugs, keep your nose clean, get your shit together, start having a purpose. And he always talked that way. If you waved and it was Tina, you know, she'd roll down a little pickaninny motherfucker. Did I give you permission to wave at you, you little ass motherfucker? Like, damn, girl. She was always foul with a little 5'1" or 2" cell. Fine, but I mean, she was bad. She had a reputation for being a pimp in Memphis, a pimp.
Okay.
And Ike rescued her. And I had him on my show twice. And after they had aired, I wound up running into him at Spago's out in Beverly Hills. We had a talk. And he said, man, Judge, they just made me. I said, look, brother, I know you. And I told him where I knew him. He said, you know that? I said, yeah. He said, I was one of those boys you talked to and kept straight. One of the reasons I didn't fall into all that mess like so many did, listening to you, home. He said, well, thank you. And see, he said, I didn't know they're going to badmouth me like that. I said, I know. And I said, I'm from, been in Memphis. I was the public defender in private practice. And some of my pimp clients told me about their colleague. He said, you heard about that? He said, she was good, but she was brutal. I said, yeah, that's what my pimp clients told me about that woman she drug around foot homes and drug her kneecaps off, and she couldn't walk after she tried her behind the car. Yeah, I used to represent her. I said, damn, that was rough. I said, yeah. Now, guess what he was in my courtroom for?
What?
He and his wife at the time had a foundation. And what the foundation was is battered and abused women could apply to the foundation for an advance. If they actually wound up leaving the guy, it was a gift. If they went back to him, it was a loan. So the two instances he was in front of me was suing people who had signed the contract that you get this money so you can get yourself an apartment, car, get the hell away from this. But both of them went back, so they were suing them. So does that sound like the description you get from Tina? Tina's an evil witch. Now, another thing, went to a family barbecue. It was over here.
The safest way to see a car up close? From your phone. Head to CarGurus to book a virtual appointment today.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, 100
here in Baldwin Hills in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And me and some guys who played football at UCLA, we were not UCLA, Dorsey High. We were throwing a football.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, "Isn't that Ike Turner?" I said, "Yeah, it's Ike Turner, he's a neighbor." So anyway, he looked up, we waved, and he took his gloves off, dusted his hands. He was down there on his knees with a trowel working in the flower bed. So he comes on down, shakes everybody's hand, asks us how we were doing, noted we've been playing ball. Did we play ball? Yeah, how's the team doing? We told him, yeah, stay in school and all that. And he smiled, waved, walked on back. Mm-hmm. About 10 minutes later, Tina storms out the back door. And she's mad at him because from the conversation, it sounded like he just was drawing a blank, and she wanted him to come up with these lyrics, and he's trying to explain that's why I'm out here. I'm trying to think, give me a moment. She got the cussing. I ain't got a goddamn moment, blah, 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 blah. She was a perfectionist in her art. So anyway, he said, well, baby, it's just not coming. I'm trying to get it together. And she started using all his MFs and everything else. And he said, well, there's some kids down there. Fuck them little motherfuckers, blah, 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 blah. So she stormed back in the house. About 5 minutes later, she just got mad. Fuck this shit. I'm sick of you, goddamn it. You get your shit ass mind together. And she picked up one of these big shaped rakes, that's got the cast iron head to it. Looks like a comb.
Uh-huh.
She picked that thing up and bam, right across his back. And I said, damn, I know that hurt. So what the hell's wrong with you, woman? Fuck you, motherfucker. I ain't got no time for you to think. Bam, hit him again.
Oh, God. Wow.
And it was embarrassing to the man because there were about 15, 20 people looking at this. So she stormed off in the house. She came back out, got the cussing. He said, well, goddamn it. He walked off in there. You could hear him yelling and shit. And then you could hear a crash. And she said, take that, motherfucker, And he said, I'm sick of you. I've had enough of your goddamn funky ass. And she took off running out of the back door, So it looked to me like she provoked that thing. And if he broke, snapped, and kicked the ass, I could understand. I mean, you aren't supposed to hit women, but you can get a peaceful dog and provoke them to being vicious, or attacking.
I know with Ike, what I read, because Tina family was still close to Ike when he died, and she kept his last name for a reason, because he's rock and roll royalty. I mean, he's a pioneer in rock and roll. But like the thing about it was when he first started, I think B.B. King said that was the greatest band leader he ever saw. But he was really a strict taskmaster. If he caught you doing drugs, he kicked you out the band.
Yeah,
but when he got on drugs, it messed him up. He was bipolar too.
Well, that's what came out when he was on the show. But see, you know where he found Tina?
Where?
She did an impromptu appearance on a talent show they had at the Club Paradise.
In Memphis, okay.
That's where he discovered, that thing, proud motorcycles not allowed in it, 25, the speed limit. If you go up to Flatbush, Tennessee, which is right across the county line from Shelby County, there is an old, I used to ride a motorcycle back when, and there is an old convenience store, and it's got bushes, and down in the bushes for several years, there was a sign that said 25 miles an hour, motorcycles not allowed. That was the Flatbush they were singing about.
Come on, Nutbush, right? Nutbush.
I switched from State Farm because of this site. They had me paying $163 a month.
Around there,
Nutbush. They got a museum for her Nutbush right now.
I know, but they ought to have it one for Ike. He's the one that wrote all that stuff and came up with the compositions and scored the music.
But he don't get enough credit. I mean, he's a music genius. He was a music genius. And Phil Spector spoke at his funeral of all people. Phil Spector said they did a number on Ike. That's the dude who killed a white woman in his mansion. That Phil Spector.
Well, what I'm saying is they did a number on him. See, that was pushing that narrative of toxic masculinity before we said toxic masculinity. That was the game. He said, I never did all those things to that woman. In fact, my pimp clients were saying, when I ran into him, remember that movie, What Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah.
Remember the housekeeper who supposedly killed herself? All the pimps claim Tina shot that woman. She popped a cap on somebody for looking cross-eyed.
Well, did you hear the Randy Jackson story that they say Randy Jackson was almost killed by Tina? She tried to kill Randy Jackson. Have you heard
she was
story?
A violent woman. Now, another instance I saw her, I was in Boys Market on Crenshaw, right by the railroad tracks, okay, if you've ever been in L.A. And I was in college. I'm standing in line, and there's 3 or 4 little cutie pies that were like 10th, 11th grade at Dorsey High from what they had on.
Yeah.
And in front of them was Tina. So they were saying, whispering, was that Miss Tina Turner? I think it is. It is Tina Turner, yes. And I'm just watching this. So one of them got to nerve. I'll say something. Says, Miss Turner, she turned around, bitch, did I give you funky ass permission to talk to me, ho? You look like you gonna talk to me without my permission. I'm gonna slap the grease off your ass. The girl started crying. Hey, shut up, goddammit, you irritating me.
Wow.
And she went threw her money up and was rude to the clerk, stalked out of there. I said, damn. And this girl was just crying away, and her friends were all hugging her and patting her on the back. I said,
Wow.
Tina Turner.
Gorilla pimp.
Man, I knew some gorilla pimps. We had them in Memphis. They'd go to Chicago and New York and run the Chicago and New York pimps off the corner and start running the local pimps hoes for them.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they were vicious. They do shit like go up to Chicago, snatch them a little church going girl that looked halfway cute, chain her to a bed in a cheap hotel, shoot her up with heroin for a week or so until she got to be a junkie, and just handcuff her ass to a bed and start selling discount pussy. 15, 25 people and being lying for me reading the police reports, and I got to associate local counsel and go up there and try to get these fools out of getting some kind of death penalty shit. But always got down to just assignation, a solicitation, a prosecution.
These were Memphis pimps going to Chicago doing it to Chicago women?
Hold on, you see.
I just wanted to balance that out a little bit. Congratulations once again, Tina Turner, for your second induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as an individual contributor, as a performer. So, and my thing is like, well, Brother Ron, why you give her props and Judge said, I mean, that's Judge's story. I mean, he has his reasons. Like I said, I didn't have that experience with Ike or Tina. I have respect for Ike Turner as an artist, as a man as well. I mean, if the things that Judge said about him trying to help women in need are true, and also I believe in being fair and balanced and whatnot. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm definitely gonna get to that because we need to talk about that. Yeah, I'm definitely. Thank you, Brother Mark, for the reminder. I got everything on that lined up. I actually just came, me and my sister, the first weekend in May. We went down or went up or went west. We went west to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Why are people? Let me see. People trying to call me. I can't talk right now. I'm online. I'm on the air. I'm on the air. And we actually went to Tulsa the first weekend this month. Because May 31st and June 1st of this year will be the centennial of the Black Wall Street Massacre. It'll be the centennial of the Black Wall Street Massacre, where allegedly close to 300, if not more, Black folks were killed just for being young, gifted, Black, successful, whatever. the Black Wall Street Massacre, right? Where, you know, if you look at the show The Watchmen, they highlighted what happened. If you look at that's the HBO show starring Regina King. If you also look at the show Lovecraft Country, they talked about the Black Wall Street Massacre that took place May 31st and June 1st of 1921. So me and my sister took another road trip. Like, I've been on hiatus, but I've been collecting information, content, I'm trying to curate this stuff for you all. I've been making connections for the love of the We All Be movement. I'm trying to inform the people, trying to give y'all reports from the front lines, you know, places that we should know about, people, places, and things. Thank you from Atlanta. Antoine Graham, appreciate you for tuning in. We love you all madly. And also, we need to talk about the Atlanta child murders as well for another show. But there's so much to talk about besides Dr. Umar Johnson's versus Kevin Samuels and, you know, all this stuff. You know, we like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I try to, you know, keep my focus, keep my eyes on the prize with this type of stuff, because we need to talk more about the centennial coming up. And to go to Tulsa, you know, Black Wall Street was an area of Tulsa, the Greenwood area, right? The Greenwood neighborhood. They had like 35, 36 blocks of Black excellence. To go there now, it's like, what the hell? You know, like, you got Black businesses, but do they own the buildings? Do they own the real estate that they have their businesses hosted out of? Are they just guests in their own home? You know, and Black folks still kind of scary about talking about what happened back on May 31st and June the 1st of 1921 in Tulsa. A lot of that is still taboo. It's been taboo for a long time. Therein lies the problem. We had the white people as well as Black folks conspiring to keep what happened to all these Black people a secret in Tulsa. You know, what's the Memphis connection to Tulsa is interesting, because like when I went to Tulsa and talked to some of the residents, some of these people, their parents and grandparents were survivors of this traumatic incident that they don't want to talk about. A lot of these people did not find out about what went on with their parents and grandparents until they were fully grown adults. And really it was by accident a lot of times. I remember I met a sister, I believe, who was featured in the Soul of America, that TV show, I guess, to talk about race relations. I don't know if it's ABC. They got a podcast, but she came up to us in a Black-owned coffee shop and told me and my sister, y'all was featured in Soul of America, Soul for America. You know that show, yeah, y'all like to look at, you got race fetish. They were talking about Black Wall Street, and her grandmother was interviewed, I believe, by the Los Angeles Times back in 1999. And I believe there is a survivor still from the Tulsa, Oklahoma tragedy. This person, I believe, is about 106 years young. And I think cognitive or aware, cognitive abilities are still, you know, good. Sometimes I'll be tripping up on these words, but Black folks still have a hard time dealing with this trauma. So you got generations not even knowing about what happened to their elders and the ancestors and what they are owed. So I'm gonna have some people from Tulsa on the ground, hopefully come on the platform in the very near future, and we'll do a show about the Tulsa thing. We'll do a couple of shows because, man, it's just so much. But you know, today it's also the anniversary of the MOVE organization, right? Getting bombed. You dropped the bomb on me, but you know, the first bomb was dropped on Tulsa, right? On Black Wall Street, Greenwood, right? You know, the Gap Band is from that area. Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, I believe, those streets, right? You know, Charlie Wilson and his people, the Gap Band. Now, he said that you dropped the bomb on me, son, was not about the Tulsa Black Wall Street massacre. But he actually was close to a survivor, this woman who lived to be over 100 years old. And according to him, she swore him to secrecy, to not talk about this incident that affected her for the majority of her life. I mean, she was traumatized, and she still was afraid, even 100-something years old, of retaliation. You understand? So he talked about this. He said, well, the song was not about that, but it is about that because it's subliminal. It's like I'm an artist. This is my artwork, right? If you interview me about my art, and you ask me what does this mean or what that picture, what are these symbols, I could tell you what I think they mean, right? But once an artist create a work, a product, it's open to interpretation. Whether it be music, novels, poetry, visual art, once the product is created, it's open. It's given to the world to interpret on people's own terms based on their experiences or whatever. So he thought it was about a love song, but subliminally, subconsciously, it was about the Tulsa thing. Because his connection to that community, they named their band the Gap Band after those major streets in Black Wall Street in the Greenwood area. So you name your band those street names, you're from there, you are close to a survivor of that Black Holocaust incident, and so you live with this all your life, and you're an artist, and so you take things in and you spit it back out. You synthesize. You take all this stuff in and you spit it back out. That's what artists do. Like I take all these experiences, all this research I do, and I try to either I produce a podcast or I produce a visual art or I play a music, whatever. I spit it back out, but it's open to interpretation. So You Drop the Bomb on Me is about Black Wall Street. Is about love, unreciprocated. Because Black America is in a failed love affair or a failed relationship with white America. But instead of us being like Melinda Gates and getting our billions, we get nothing but excuses and nothing but, oh, sorry, we can't do that. We need to learn from Melinda Gates. Black America need to learn from Melinda Gates how to get that paper, how to secure that bag. But we want to be woe is me. We want to do this Black Lives Matter porn, fetish porn, snuff films. We want to be a victim. We don't want to be a victor. We want to be victims. So, even Jesus, even talking about getting bombs dropped, Tulsa, Black Wall Street was first time American city was bombed from the air. They use airplanes to bomb Black Wall Street, right? Talking to the locals, it's confusion. It's a mixed bag on who owned them airplanes. Like I've been told from other elders that, hey, those planes were our planes. They use our planes against us. When I get to Tulsa, some people saying that's not true. These were white folks. And some people even say it was the National Guard who was using no planes to drop bombs on Black people. Because, the National Guard supposed to be keeping law and order, but they allow for lynch mob rule to be the law. They participated in massacring Black people, violating their civil and human liberties, the so-called National Guard, right? And then some people say, well, it was National Guard that used planes from a private airfield. But from my understanding, you had prominent and well-off Black folks in Greenwood that owned planes. At least 6 planes were owned by Black people connected to Greenwood, connected to Black Wall Street. So who's to say that these folks didn't take these Black folks' planes, like I heard from other old timers, and start dropping Molotov cocktails and other things to bomb the neighborhood? Because even the sister whose grandmother was a survivor, she talked about how she saw planes dropping bombs on people and on buildings when she was like, I think 6 years old or something. I mean, this stuff is interesting. But I talked to the Black people, that's not true. Then once it said it was true, that there were Black people playing. It was a prominent Black man named, I think, Simon Berry. He was a prominent aviator pioneer who lived in that area. And he owned his plane. So you had like at least 5 or 6 Black airplanes that were owned by Black people. Who would say they didn't airplane jack those planes and use it against Black people? They always use our stuff against us anyway. Okay, Memphis is higher. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not impressed. Is that I don't keep up with local news in Memphis like I should. Is that the female they were interviewing? They got hired. I can look it up, but here's my thing. I look at Atlanta. Black women ain't gonna save us from ourselves. You know, you see what happened to Keisha Lance Bottoms. I think she meant well. She got caught up, but see, we keep on trying to put it on the sisters to bail out the whole race. We need black men to want to be men, to want to be masculine, to want to be willing to sacrifice for the good of the family, for the good of the community. We don't have true black man leadership right now. The women ain't gonna say we need black men to step up. Yeah, Memphis kind of weird. Memphis like a Baltimore, man. They throw money at the wrong. They think throwing money at a problem is the only thing to do it, and it never works. Really gotta have a vision so you know how to leverage the resources in the right way. And Memphis, Atlanta, Baltimore, places like that where they got a large black populace, we lack the vision and the courage of some type of conviction to really create a new way of seeing, because Atlanta is long due for what they're coming up against right now. This has been long overdue. Because really they living off the past, off of what the Maynard Jacksons and even this guy named Andrew Youngs and people like, I mean, they living off that era. We don't have leadership like that. They even think about trying to empower a black business class, let alone black working class people, or to take care of black poor class people. We don't have leadership like that. We have BS. We have blue check leadership. Blue check leadership online. That's all we got. We don't got no people on the ground with the boots on. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. Black America is looking like that basketball player got knocked out by that Paul boy, that white boy named Paul, that social media celebrity guy who knocked him out before that Tyson Roy Jones fight. That's how black men, we looking like that dude on the down and out. That's how Black America looking right now. Appreciate you. Yeah. But we in Black America need to learn from Melinda Gates. She getting her reparations and then some. She's not leaving empty-handed. She been dealing with Bill Gates secrets. She got a lot of secrets and shit on Bill. She not doing the Hillary thing. She's not gonna stand by her man anymore. She gonna secure her bag, and he know he can't do nothing to her because people already know what time it is with Bill. He can't touch her. She untouchable. I'm sure she got one of them things. If something happened to her, all this stuff get released. All this stuff get released. All right. She got one of them things, right? She ain't stupid. And Bill knows she ain't stupid. It may not be cheaper to keep her this time. He's gonna have to pay. Because whatever he did, he's gonna have to pay, and he's paying for it. So yeah, the Memphis and Tulsa connection, like I said, the People's Grocery lynching of 1892, when them 3 black men got lynched for being successful business owners, for running a successful grocery store called the People's Grocery Store in what is now known in South Memphis. And Thomas Mouse's last words were, "Tell my people to go west because they cannot get no justice here." Thomas Mouse was a well-respected black man in the Memphis community, a true leader. And he was close to Ida B. Wells, who had a newspaper at the time, the Free Speech and Headlight. And Ida B. Wells was the godmother to his daughter. And he had a son on the way. And he tried to plead with the lynchers to please let me go. And, you know, it was white newspaper reporters there recording his last words. And he said this, tell my people to go west. They can't get no justice here. 6,000 black people left Memphis, went west. A lot of them went to Tulsa, what's now known as Black Wall Street. They settled there. I believe in Robert Church Sr., the first black millionaire of the South, invested heavily in Tulsa. So that's the Memphis-Tulsa connection. They went from one tragedy to another tragedy, a couple of decades apart. But I mean, the thing about it is, y'all like celebrity leadership. Like we got a fetish with celebrity and people will perceive power and influence. These people that we idolize have no power. Because if these people had power, they wouldn't be begging for crumbs on the floor near the table in all areas of human activity. If black folks had the power that we think we have in this, now we do have power, but if we don't have vision, the power cannot be utilized for our own ends because we have no ends, we have no vision to manifest. So we will always be used against our own self-interest. Our power will always be used against us. Look at what Simone Sanders, whatever her name is. She thought she was gonna be the press secretary, and she got passed over for the redhead, Psaki. Sock it to me. And she was like a linebacker and bodyguard. She was Kevin Costner to Joe Biden's Whitney Houston, protecting him at all costs and putting herself on the line. Don't even know she had health insurance at the time. He had Trump care or Biden care or who cares, right? So, I mean, she did all that, but she didn't ask for anything. That's wrong, black folks. Black folks do all this for people. We don't ask for nothing in return. Or we don't stand behind. We don't hold nobody accountable because we don't hold ourselves accountable. You understand? We don't hold ourselves accountable. So how can we hold other people accountable? Because we don't even want to deal with our own toxicity and shit. We don't want to deal with our own problems and issues. So it's funny. It's not funny in the heart. It's a tragedy. It's a travesty. Black folks we like, oh, Nate Robinson. Let's do name for New York Knicks. He got knocked out by that Paul dude. Nate, that's how Black America look. We laughing at him, but really we laughing at ourselves. We laughing and crying at the same time. Because even look at the Move situation, right? Let's look at Move. Move, get out the way. Get out the way. Move, ha ha ha. Get out the way. Let's look at Move. When you move, I move. Bum the roof off this mother. Bum the roof off this mother. Bum the roof off this mother. See how many so-called new black media are talking about the Move anniversary right now. Brother Ron had to come back today and tell y'all about some Move. When I move, you move. Or some shit. Right? That's Philly, burning like a cheesesteak, right? That's May 13th, 1985. We had Mayor Wilson no good. Mayor Wilson good, right? Black mayor Philly, silly Philly. Mayor no good. He allowed these folks to bomb these black people out. 4 blocks got bombed. Second time, first time was Tulsa, Black Wall Street, 1921. Right? Let me read my little thing. Today's date is May the 13th, 2021. Never forget that the city of Philadelphia, led by its first black mayor, Woodrow Wilson Good, aka Mayor No Good, dropped a bomb on a neighborhood, destroying 4 city blocks, leaving 250 plus homeless, while killing John Africa and 10 of his Move followers, including 5 children. 2 surviving Move members, Ramona Africa and Birdie Africa, were severely burned. Never forget. 1985 Move bombing after Tulsa, after Black Wall Street, before Waco. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. The city of no brotherly love. Black Holocaust, Black lives never matter to us. This is America, right? Y'all never forget that. Y'all never forget. They always talk about 9/11. They talk about Waco, and Ruby Ridge. What about Move 85? What about Tulsa 21, Rosewood 23, Elaine, Arkansas 1919? Memphis Race Massacre, which happened the first days of May, back in 1866, I believe. The Memphis Race Massacre, 1866. Sometimes in May, y'all, come on. We always been under terroristic attack. You talking about what's going on, Israel, Palestine? We always been under the type of attack here in America. They never did love us. But we like Simone Sanders, forever faithful. to the forever ungrateful. Be forever faithful to the forever ungrateful. So, I mean, it's a lot the process, right? I was reading. I mean, but you know, it's always like the 80-20 principle, the 80-20 rule. You know, 20% of people do the actual work while the 80% benefit from people doing the work. Because you look at the way they tell history, you think that everybody was for Dr. King and the civil rights movement. A lot of black ministers hated Dr. King. And majority of black folks wasn't supportive of the movement. But when you have a small group of people committed to anything, whoever's committed to paradigm shift, things happen. They control how things, the outcome. It's difference between being a rioter and being a revolutionary. Revolutionaries don't start revolutions. The rioters do. Revolutionaries direct revolutions. They have the blueprint. They have the vision. They understand the end game. So all this stuff y'all think about, see, these people smart. They know they play with your emotions. They manipulate your emotions with why they pick certain cases to highlight in the media to make black people mad. I think there's more white people getting killed by police than black people. But why do they highlight certain cases? And then why do black people want to elevate everybody? You know, to me, it's funny. It's not funny in a ha-ha way, but you want to name a bill after George Floyd. Why not name the bill after Sandra Bland? Sandra Bland was an actual activist. How many people still talking about Sandra Bland and what happened to her down in that county jail, whatever? This year will be like 6 years, the 6-year anniversary, right? Of what happened to Sandra Bland. She's not talking about, because the people that we want to elevate, these people were never committed to really social justice work at all. You know, Sandra Bland was dropping live streams and stuff. She was very opinionated. She had her politic. She could articulate what she was talking about, and she was for Black lives, and she loved black men. She was strictly dickly. And that became a problem when they started to try to tell her story, right? Because HBO did a documentary. Her mama got to bed, but nobody could ever get out of prison or jail. I mean, she couldn't contact nobody to check in on her to get her out of prison or jail. But yet, you don't hear about Sandra Bland because she's too vocal, even in death. They want to silence Sandra Bland. Because, like, you look at Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd. I'm not disrespecting these people, but these folks, did they take a stand in life in terms of being activists, turn to being so-called social justice warriors? Can you go through their social media archives and see anything that come close to a Sandra Bland or even a Darren King D. Seals? See, who's that? Y'all know about Corey Bush and them. Y'all don't know about Darren King D. Seals? Exactly. And how he died a horrific death, and we don't talk about it. He's a Taurus. I think he was born April 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can look it up, because I'm not going to look it up because y'all need to do some work. But we don't talk about people that's really activists. And if we do talk about it, we want to rewrite the script. Like with Malcolm, his birthday coming up May 19th. You know, a lot of you black people out here, y'all talk about, well, no, Malcolm changed when he went to Mecca. He said all white folks not devils. Y'all more concerned about how he saw white people allegedly. Y'all more concerned that white folks accept Malcolm than you accept yourself. Then we accept Malcolm. We still don't accept Malcolm. If Malcolm was alive, we still disrespect Malcolm. We don't want to follow no damn Malcolm. It's like Jesus. You know, we like the idea, but the reality of it, we don't want. You don't want no Malcolm here holding us accountable and forcing us to do things that'll be the right thing will be the hardest thing to do. We don't want that. Okay, stop it with this BS fantasy that y'all want to spew. First of all, Malcolm not even a Christian, so we ain't gonna follow him. Okay, he's not Christian. Y'all still caught up in that, but that's another story. But what I'm saying is, really at this late date, you don't need no leaders. Like, we don't need what we think so-called leader style. We need to be each as individuals have our own moral compass and moral code and order. Don't let society dictate what is best for you. You should learn what is best for you Get more in tune, more intuitive with yourself right now. It's very important that you do this, because a lot of the toughest decisions you have to make will not be in a group. It'll be as an individual entity, as an individual organization. We are all our own organizations. We are all our own brands. Now, we can collaborate and things like that, but my thing is this: it's not even important that we agree on everything. We got to find a way to agree on some of the things that will be beneficial to all involved in our group. That's how you come up with the code. Okay, y'all keep on talking about getting on code. There's no code really, because we never discussed it. And really, Clubhouse and YouTube and all these places are not the places to discuss what the code is. This is not the place. You using your enemy's tools to liberate yourself. Come on, man. And what's the enemy? I don't know. Anybody that you can't talk about freely is the enemy. Anybody you cannot talk about without being for fear of censorship is your enemy. Because to me, nobody's above criticism. I'm not above a criticism. You criticize me, how the way I talk and look and play my trumpet. It is what it is. It is what it is. Whatever. But if you can't freely, if you are always self-censoring yourself before you say anything, you always trying to filter stuff because you're afraid of what the repercussions and consequences will be, that means you're not even in control of your own reality. You cannot even be in a place to determine self-determination for your own self. You're not free. You a slave. Because only slaves worry about consequences and repercussions. Only slaves worry about stuff like this. So we all like slaves on a spectrum, like autism. We all like slaves on the spectrum. Well, Charles Evans, he's not talked about though. He's a bad boy. Charles Evans lived to be almost 100. I mean, look, Charles Evans lived to be almost 100 years old because he didn't want to be nobody's martyr. This man was a man. He loved pussy and money, and he loved a good time. But he was a soldier. You know what I'm saying? That dude was courageous. I met a white Marine when I went to Selma. He would ask me, have you seen Charles Evans? I said, no, sir. No, Charles was there for the 50th anniversary. I didn't see him in Selma. A lot of people was there for the 50th. I went the last minute, to go down to Selma. I'm glad I did. But I recorded this white man singing the praises of Charles Evans. He said, Charles Evans, man, he saved our lives, man. We came to Alabama. He looked out for us. He picked us up and protected us. This was a white Marine who was at Iwo Jima saying this about Charles Evans, who was a World War II veteran himself. But we don't talk about Charles Evans because Charles Evans is a bad boy because he didn't play by the rules, man. That man loved pussy. He loved money. He loved a good time, but he loved his people. He claimed all his kids. He had, I asked him how many kids. He had like a lot of kids by a lot of different women. He loved the pussy. So he loved, and that's a problem. And also he was himself. He wasn't trying to be a people's pleaser. He's trying to make sure that he knew who he was. And that's why he was able to make this unique contribution. But you see how the NAACP, when he died, they didn't even recognize that he died. The National NAACP, the president of the National NAACP is from Mississippi, Derrick Johnson. I met Derrick Johnson a couple of times. And I don't know him that well. He's like a decent guy. He's a very personable guy. But I just found that very disrespectful that you the head of this organization. The Evers family should be treated like how America treats the Kennedys. The NAACP should treat the Elvis family like that because of the sacrifices that were made. Y'all helped get his brother killed. Y'all let Mega Evans get killed. Mega told y'all he needed protection. Y'all said we didn't give a damn in so many words. And y'all allowed this man to get killed in front of his children and his wife. And then decades later, you begged the wife to come save your organization. Merle was the head or the president of NHP back in the 90s, right? So she helped save the organization that turned their backs on her husband and her family. And then I believe the NHP finally said, we sorry for not providing Mega with the protection. And Mega is buried with full military honors and honors. He's an American hero. Then you got his brother who was pimping and running numbers and juke joints, whatever he was doing up in Chicago, taking on the mob. He coming down looking for blood. He coming down on a Delta flight with guns and everything. I mean, this is way before 9/11. This man coming on a Delta Airlines flight with guns and stuff, waiting to blow a cracker or a white person, wherever he saw, head off for what they did to his brother. You know, Mega was just 37 when they took him out of here, right? So instead of him killing a white man, he ended up taking his brother's place as field secretary, ran for mayor, all this stuff, did phenomenal things, was a political maverick, you know, switched from Democrats to Republican, independent, back to Republican, whatever. Did some amazing things that's not talked about. And our people, we label people like him that's not totally loyal to the Democratic Party. We call them like raccoons and stuff. You know, so he never got the proper respect. But I know when I used to go down to Jackson, Mississippi, I would make a point to make sure I could stop by the radio station and try to, you know, talk to him and just say thank you. And sometimes he'll grant me an interview. Most of the time I went there, he granted me interviews anyway. Whatever he was doing, he made time, which I appreciated. I wish I had got more interviews. But, you know, we don't want to talk about the Charles Evans. We want to focus on the Malcolms and the Megas and the Kings. These guys didn't make it to 40. Here, this man, he made it almost 100 years old. And I think, you know, he would probably still be here if it wasn't for the COVID year. You know, the year was so bad, a lot of folks just checked out. But John Lewis got a press release when he passed from the NACP, but they ain't do no press release for Charles Evans. So read his book. Read him in his own words, man. He's one of my favorite people from that era. And people keep on talking about boomers. Boomers were even they were just coming up. You know, Charles and Megas and Dr. King and Malcolm, they weren't baby boomers. Hell, John Lewis was even a baby boomer. He was born in 1940. So we blame a lot on baby boomers. What baby boomers did, they were spoiled. They took advantage of the toils of what other people did. So they got everything. And they didn't think to look out for the other generation. So, I mean, but at the same time, it's time to move on from that. Because we're in a whole different ball game right now. Appreciate the love. We do, but there's a price to pay. Because our people don't love the folks. We don't really love the people that stand up for us a lot of times. We turn our backs. Yeah, man, I don't know if I'm coming clear. Okay, doing that little tricky thing. Let me see how I can refresh. I hate when I look at my thing because my end, look, I'm coming in clear. When I see it in the playback, it's about like pixelated and stuff, like a Nintendo game or Atari from the 80s or some shit. Wait a minute, hold up. I don't know if I'm coming in clear. Let me see. I'm gonna take a. Let's see. Games they play. I'll be right back. Be right back. Hey, we already seen that. And let me focus on. Thank y'all for being patient and tuning in. Y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can hear me because I need some improvements. Yeah, but I want to make sure I get it because sometimes I be looking back at damn, all that went on. I said all that went on. I've been talking all the time. I don't know, the screen messing up. It's better than what it was in the past. I'll say that. But let me set up something. I'll be right back. I just want to trying to see something. But yeah, but the thing with our people, man, we need to learn some history. We need to learn some history. This is a time of studying. We celebrate these Pyrrhic victories, like the Derek Chauvin thing. They can overturn that, you know what I'm saying? It's their system. So, and y'all get all into that type of stuff. But there's other things we need to focus on. Like we need to talk about what Charles Evans and how he was able to survive to almost 100 years old and what he did, some of the things that they were able to do. They were successful in the movement. But we always get stuck in, like, you know, the people that got killed by the Klan, or we love the victims. We don't want to celebrate the victors. It's like Robert F. Williams said. Let me see. Yeah, like Robert F. Williams said, Robert F. Williams lived to be 70 years old. He died from leukemia. But he said the reason why they don't talk about me because I survived. I actually beat them. Because when they were doing stuff in North Carolina, he said none of our people got killed. When they got in shootouts with the Klan and with the police and got into it with white mobs, none of them got killed. They was fighting back and stuff. And I'm gonna have a show where I talk about my cousin, Julian Mayfield. We don't want Curtis Mayfield, one Michael, but Julian Mayfield was a real revolutionary who worked with Castro and Malcolm X and Robert F. Williams. How they got in the shootouts, he helped get them out the country. But we're gonna have a show about Julian Mayfield, maybe a couple of shows coming up very soon to talk about his contribution. So I mean, we got to start researching our history and talking about our people who did some amazing things and learn from their mistakes as well. Need to start doing that type of stuff. And yeah, thank you, King BJ. I appreciate it. So let me just set it up. I'm trying to get this screen ready. This stuff be bothering me right here. But we'll see. Probably get a stronger Wi-Fi. Yeah, history is more interesting because like all we doing, nothing is past. We just everything, people talking about you repeat the past. Nothing is past. This is a matrix, nothing past. We're living in the past. We just don't know it. We can't figure out how they built the pyramids, man. We ain't that advanced. We can't figure out how they built the pyramids. We still trying to debate how they built those pyramids, right? So
Bob.
you ready? You got it. Yeah, I don't even know if they played that pretty well. Just having issues over here. Just looking at the stuff. It's fascinating, man. Technology is good when it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. Let me see. Let's see. Y'all can hear me? Let's see. I'm gonna check out right quick. Thank y'all for the patience. Trying to see what I could do in real time. Okay. Let's see. But yeah. We gotta do some homework here. Now, people talking about what's going on right now. And I really want to talk about, I said, well, MoneyBagg Joe. They call him MoneyBagg Joe. They call him by it like after the Memphis rapper MoneyBagg Yo. I actually like MoneyBagg Yo. He's unique. I think he's very talented, and I wish him continue in long success. But I'm thinking about MoneyBagg Joe. He, to me, like Joe Biden's like that movie Bullworth. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Bullworth. Then Simone Sanders is Halle Berry. Y'all look at the movie Bullworth. You know, when he was on the Breakfast Club, one thing that Charlemagne, the guy, did for us was expose Biden for who he was and what he is. And he said, if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. Well, I guess with black people, if you don't let the Democrats be your slave master, then you ain't black, right? And my thing with the Democrats is it's kind of weird. It's like cognitive dissonance with the people where they show you who they are. They never lied about who they were. You look at the reason why they was founded and what they have done to us over the decades and over the generations. But yet we still beholden to them. We sick boss. We lost boss. You know. But what I'm going to do, hey, I appreciate it. Man, I'm looking at this screen, man. It's all weird. Like on my end, I'm in the studio. I can see clarity. But when I look at the feed, the actual product is all choppy and stuff. But I think I'm gonna end this stream, get some better options on the table. I don't know what's going on, man. It's like I be trying to do this stuff and stuff be all weird. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been working on. My thing is this: I don't want to sound like I just want to be myself. Everybody talking about this and that. I mean, Miles Davis ain't everybody's cup of tea. I love Miles Davis. He's a Gemini. His birthday is May 26th. A lot of folks didn't think Miles could play. Oh, he made a career missing notes or hitting bad notes. It's not about that. It's about feeling and confidence because everybody has a story to tell. It's about telling stories. Yeah, Warren Beatty film Bullworth. Yeah. But my thing is this, man. I can't go on with this stream right now the way it is. I'm about to see. I don't have to weigh my options. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I've been spending most of the year with a hole in my foot, and that's another story. That's an interesting story, but I ain't gonna tell the story tonight. I'm not gonna show the photographs because it's like Emmett Till. Once you see that photograph, you can't get it out your mind. For some people, it don't bother me. It's me. But there's a lot of things that's going on. Like I said, I've been on hiatus. I didn't know I could stay away this long. But with me, I want to make sure I give the people a proper product. So with that said, my neighbors probably would agree. It's time for me to go to bed, but I'm not gonna go to bed really. Oh, what about MoneyBagg Joe? Well, the thing about MoneyBagg Joe is that he never delivers the money. He'll show you the money, but he'll never deliver the money. And the thing about what's going on with the unemployment thing, and I guess I'm gonna end it on this because I wanted to continue for a little bit, but I guess it's a good time to end it. The thing about the unemployment thing, the problem is this: people do want to work, but people don't want to be slaves to the work. They want to get compensated for the work. Now, last year they spent a lot of time destroying small businesses and propping up businesses that so-called too big to fail, but it's bleeding money. It does not make sense to me that a person who works 40 hours a week at Walmart still needs an EBT card, still need to apply for rental assistance or light bill assistance or anything like that. You shouldn't be doing that even at Amazon. These folks are getting subsidized by billions of dollars from the federal government. Elon Musk is getting billions of dollars from the federal government. Jeff Bezos, Walmart. No, you think about General Electric. All these folks, they don't even pay taxes like the normal individual. The IRS, they try to prey on small businesses and individuals, but corporations don't get audited. Hell, I don't think the Federal Reserve ever been audited. It's not even federal. It's not even part of the federal government. It's the interest of the bankers or banksters. What I'm saying is, it's hypocritical to say that people don't want to work. Why don't the wealthy folks save their jobs and clean the toilets? You look at the Walton family. They're like feudal lords up there in Arkansas. That your workers that made y'all money, they can't even afford their rent or light bill or food for the week or for the month. And you working 40 hours. You giving up hours of your life you can't get back. You can't refund time. You can't refund time. So my thing would be, why not the government subsidize these businesses, these small businesses that could actually pay the workers at least $15 an hour? Like, I don't understand what is the rush to get folks off of unemployment in Montana. You want to get folks off of unemployment, but yet you keep on raising the rent. And how many people live in Montana? Is there more cows in Montana? More bison in Montana than people? I don't understand. What is the rush? Just, what you could do, like you subsidize Amazon and Walmart and Elon Musk, subsidize the small businesses, give them grants or whatever, so they could pay the workers $15 an hour or even more with benefits, so they would get back to work. To me, I would say, hell, like if the NFL or NBA go on strikes, shit, it is owned by the billionaires. The workers are the millionaires. Why don't the billionaires play the basketball or play the football or the foosball? Why? The workers gotta overstand their value. See, that's the problem. They took away the unions. They took the teeth out the unions. Really, the Democratic Party sold out the unions for the banks. They replaced the Teamsters with World Bank and Goldman Sachs and stuff like that. Which one's the real evil or the lesser evil or the devil that which one you rather make a deal with? Jimmy Hoffa or Goldman Sachs? So with that said, now I want to come in clear. This is BS. I'm about to leave now. I don't know how long is it clear. Yeah, the low wages, give us a living wage. Give us a reason to go to work. I mean, why would you sacrifice? You can't get your time back. Time is one of the most, you talk about oil, a lot of people believe that. Okay, I'm back in. Oil is not really limited, but you can't get your time back. You spending 40 or 80 hours work weeks and you neglecting your wife or your husband or your family. You can't get that. It's like when people, how some people go into church, like especially these mega churches, and they be so devoted to the pastor that they stay at church 7 days a week, 24/7. They stay there and neglect their family, neglect their home. They sacrifice their home life for their pastor. The pastor ain't neglecting himself. I remember a pastor was telling a story, or a preacher was telling a story about a man who was a successful minister, and one of his church members would cut his grass, tend his lawn for free, right? And then one day this church member saw the pastor leaving with some golf bags and whatnot. And the church member said, "Hey, minister, don't you supposed to be on your knees praying?" He said, "What do you mean? I'm a human being like you. I have a life. I like leisure time just like you are. Why you think that the minister is not like you. We just human beings like you. We have our flaws and shortcomings. We like to have a good time like you are. But the people got this thing about putting these folks on pedestals, like how we treat celebrities now. See, celebrity is the religion of America. You know, your God is the Kardashians, is LeBron James, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Those are gods, man. We worship at their altar. Because if you say I'm not telling the truth, how come it's so easy for y'all to, well, LeBron said it, or Jay-Z said it, or Sierra and Russell Wilson said do it. Let's just do it like Nike. Let's just do it. Don't ask no questions, just do it. See, y'all want, see, I'm saying, like, if Malcolm came, look, brothers and sisters, I want y'all to think, shut up, Malcolm. We don't want to hear that shit. You talking about thinking and shit. Nigga, we don't want to think, we want to do. We want to do with it. Not think about what is right. Hey, Sister Line is proud. How you doing? You know, we want to, as a good sister right here. Yeah, you can't refund the time, man. None of these people, these politicians are our friends. They don't, whoever, it's like the police, right? You think about police, people talk about defund the police and reform and retrain and reprogram. The police are doing what police are supposed to do. They are the policy enforcers. Police is policy. They enforce the policy. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But the thing about it is, who controls these police to enforce? Who set the policy? And who controls the people who help to pass and create the policy? Who controls those people? See, my thing is, we not where we need to be. We have not learned the lessons of the past. Like I said, at the end of this month is Black Wall Street, the anniversary of the Black massacre that took place in Tulsa. We still have not learned those lessons. Like, we still have not learned, because, you know, it's a thing about that. I don't know if this stream would code up. Let me see. Okay, it's kind of holding up. This is an interest. This is a trick bag. This is like a really improv-y type of show. But if you think about how did Black Wall Street happen? They said that this dude named Richard Rowland, they call him Diamond Dick. You know, they said Diamond Dick Rowland touched the white girl, Sarah Page, in the elevator of the Drexel building. She was the elevator operator. He touched her, and she was like, oh my God, he's assaulted me. And white folks said he was trying to rape her. So Diamond Dick, they call this dude Diamond Dick. That's what the newspaper called him. I don't know if that was his real name, his nickname, but he was known as Richard Rowland. He was a student at Booker T. Washington High School in Tulsa. And also he was a gifted athlete. There are pictures of him, allegedly of him at Booker T. Washington. They found it in the yearbook. I think, I don't know if it's from that year or from an earlier year, but they got pictures of Dick Rowland or Richard Rowland. So they accused him of touching his white girl in the elevator in an improper way. White folks got suspicious. They arrested him. They were going to lynch him. The brothers came in with the guns to protect his life. And then, you know, something happened. They got into a tussle with the white mob. Some shots were fired. I don't know, it was accidental fire from the black people with the gun. These were World War I veterans. These were black men that just came home not too long ago. And they wasn't taking it. They ain't, hey, look, we made the world safe for democracy except at home. And we want our rights to be respected, right? So they were defending this brother's life, these black men. And the white folks say, okay, wait a minute. They shooting at us now? You know, I'm gonna tell y'all, every race massacre or riot started because some type of police misconduct. It's never the black people that initiated this BS. Even the Memphis race massacre was started by the white police here. The Irish police couldn't stand the black people here in Memphis, especially the black colored troops, the U.S. Union soldier troops, whether the black colored troops that were stationed nearby Memphis, they couldn't stand them. They used to get in a couple of skirmishes, but all the race massacres and all the riots in this country were started by some form of police misconduct. In Lane, Tulsa, Rosewood, Watts, Rodney King, police misconduct, right? So this is crazy. When the National Guard, see, y'all keep talking about, y'all, we trust these authorities that don't give a damn about us. Why do we trust authority that don't respect? Why don't we teach our children to respect so-called authority figures that don't respect our people? Because you can't never name me a time when the authorities was really on the side of black people. Now, I know elders that was in the movement Like I know the late Judge Army Bailey. He was a jegna of mine. You know, I'm Judge Army Bailey. You must amplify, Ron, amplify. And he talked about when he was in Mississippi, he was an activist in the movement and stuff, doing SNCC stuff. And he said that they'll get beat up and harassed and intimidated by the local white folks. The FBI be right across the street. The Department of Justice be right across the street. He said, y'all gonna do something? He said, ain't our fucking job to do shit for y'all. That's what these folks would tell them. I'm telling them these are the so-called the white head dudes that work for the Department of Justice. They work for the FBI. They would tell them, look, we're not here to protect y'all. We don't give a damn. We're sitting here by so-and-so president, so-and-so, the administration to watch what's going on. If you think about why do y'all trust the FBI? Why is the FBI even, why does it exist? Because it doesn't work on behalf of the people. Because even look at the civil rights movement. You had the FBI embedded with the Klan. So the FBI was involved in kidnapping, torturing, and killing people. This is well documented. This is nothing I'm making up. This is well documented. This happened. So law enforcement always been the Klan of black people in America. Police always been the slave catchers. So my thing is, I don't know if this is breaking up. Okay, it's holding up. Now I'm about to get off. They want to hold up. We don't educate our people well. It's like even with Michael Jackson, y'all got to get hip to this bullshit. Look. He looked at weird, right? They threw out the last lawsuit, but think about what I'm about to say. Like what Paul Mooney said about Michael Jackson. He said he's more X-Files than pedophile. If you look at serial killers don't look like Michael Jackson. Serial killers like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy. And the reason why I bring them up because Ted Bundy was a rising political star in Washington State. He was on the track to becoming actually probably either governor or senator, or dare I say president of the United States. He could have actually became governor or a senator from Washington State. That's how popular he was in Washington State politics. John Wayne Gacy used to be a manager, I believe, at Kentucky Fried Chicken. So now y'all got to think, what's really in that secret recipe? If John Wayne Gacy was a manager at a Kentucky Fried Chicken, what were you really eating at that Kentucky Fried Chicken? Also, he was a clown. And I used to love clowns growing up. I love clowns, but now as I get older, I understand why people are afraid of clowns. You know, but clowns never scared me. But I can see why people are afraid of clowns. But John Wayne Gacy used to be a clown, and also you'd be a manager at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer used to work in a chocolate factory up in Milwaukee, I believe. I know people that knew people that used to work with Jeffrey Dahmer, black people. They used to help happy hour at his home. I said, what the hell? They didn't smell nothing. I mean, he loved dark meat. They didn't smell anything weird. I said, well, you know, he was cool. Because Jeffrey Dahmer, you look at him, he looked weird. I mean, he was white. He was a white male. But he didn't look like strange looking. He didn't look like, you know, weird. Michael Jackson did look weird, but Michael Jackson wasn't like those guys. You had the FBI. You had the prosecutor down there where he was at in Santa Barbara. They tore up his mansion looking for stuff. They couldn't find nothing unless they all conspired to say he was innocent. But this is the same FBI. The gun that was used to kill Dr. King could be traced to the FBI. The floor plan that was used to kill Fred Hampton Sr. and Mark Clark were from the FBI. The first black agent and agents were hired to neutralize Marcus Garvey. So when has the FBI ever looked out for the interests and the self-preservation of a black man, even one as strange looking and as eccentric as Michael Jackson? Yeah, in the Nation of Islam, he had the brother named John Ali. He was the national secretary for the Nation of Islam. He was responsible correspondent between Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad. So we always been compromised. What I'm saying is people have to start looking at this history. So why would I trust the FBI on anything? Even go to Tulsa, not Oklahoma City, excuse me, April 19th, 1995. If you look at the first, I call it World Trade bombing back in the early 90s, the FBI got their fingerprints all over there. Think about that white boy in Indianapolis recently, right, who shot up their FedEx. His mama contacted the FBI. The FBI interviewed this white boy. Who to say they wasn't MK Ultra in this dude? You look at all these mass shooting dudes. You look at the Colorado Dark Knight shooter. Look how weird he was looking. I think they said his grandfather was a scientist for the CIA. And we know about the dirt that the CIA been doing for decades. You know, Fort Detrick, Maryland, where they produced anthrax and LSD. You had that scientist from the CIA, Frank Olson. They threw him out the hotel window in New York City back in the 50s. Then his family got an apology and some reparations from President Ford. They met with President Ford. His survivors, Frank Olson's family, met with President Ford in the Oval Office back in the 70s, and he issued them an apology. He didn't specify, but he basically was saying, look, we killed your father for national security interests. And there's a Netflix limited docuseries called Wormwood that talks about Frank Olson, his last days, and they hypothesize about what really happened at the hotel in New York City when he was thrown out this glass-plated window. This plated glass window, excuse me, to his death. But there's so much to this stuff. And like I said, they still, like I said, when I went to Tulsa, they still didn't want to admit that black folks had planes that the white folks could use to bomb black people. And I've been hearing about this for a while, but you know, some people did admit, some people didn't admit, but people are still afraid to talk about what happened, the trauma. Just like we don't talk about the move bombing, right? You know, we don't, and you look at Philadelphia, the first black statue they ever had was just recently of Octavius Cato. Look up Octavius Cato. That's an interesting brother. This brother was a brilliant black man from Philadelphia, articulate. He was helping to recruit black folks as U.S. colored troops for the Union during the Civil War. He was a baseball pioneer. He was a popular educator in Philadelphia. And he was very vocal. He was a leader of black people who was assassinated by white power interests on election day back in the day. I believe it was like in the 1870s, not too long after the Civil War. And he was a young man when he got killed. And they just put a statue in his honor in Philadelphia, maybe several years, maybe I want to say 2017, Octavius Cato. Now they put a fictional character, Rocky has a statue in Philly before Octavius Cato or even Smoking Joe Frazier. You had a real champion in Smoking Joe Frazier, or even Dr. J or anybody. You could pick Will Chamberlain, hell, you could pick, but you don't give a fictional character. This is how sick this system is. Where they want to make believe something that should be just be make believe and make it real. This is how quickly they could change the narrative on stuff. Like even with the Tulsa thing, you had blacks and whites conspiring to keep what happened May 31st and June the 1st a secret for generations. They kept that out the history books and all that stuff, right? But it is what it is. Still kind of rusty, y'all. Forgive me. I'm just trying to get like I said, I didn't expect to be off this long, but I had a lot on my mind, a lot of things going on, but I got a lot of content that I like to share with you all. But now I think I'm about to edit, not edit this, but edit the beginning because I didn't know the sound was going on. There's so much stuff I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at this, see what's going on with my streaming and get a better stream up. And because I have some shows I want to do this weekend. We talk about some of the stuff I'm talking about now, but we talk about move, right? We don't even talk about that. That happened back in 85. We forgot what happened last week. We forgot what happened 3 days ago, 2 days ago. Hell, 12 hours ago. Things are moving so fast. Sometimes you guys got to unplug and slow the stuff down and really process it. Like I said, this should be a time of deep studying. Like that Clubhouse, Snitch House. I don't really care for Clubhouse. People snitching, people upload. I thought you ain't supposed to record these conversations. They out here uploading stuff. I mean, what's going on, man? We just got a snitching ass culture. Like I'm saying, like, you know, people talking about Judas and the Black Messiah, and Lakeith Stanfield got in trouble and he apologized, and really ain't nothing to apologize. How can you be responsible for somebody else's thoughts and opinions? How can you be responsible for another grown person's thoughts and opinions? You can't hold me responsible for other people, how they think. Like on my show, I have disclaimers. I said, I'm not responsible for what these people saying. It's what they want to say. You cannot let that reflect my organizations or my connections with other organizations, because this is like we endorse freedom of speech and freedom of expression, long as you are willing to accept the consequences of your actions and thoughts and speeches. I don't have no problem because I don't believe in censorship at all. You know, and y'all should check out the HBO series about the Atlanta child murders, man. Wayne Williams didn't do that. Wayne Williams, the Atlanta Police Department didn't give a damn about catching the real killers. You were killers. That dude didn't do all that. I don't think he did any of it. It's just because he was eccentric, he made for the perfect villain. He was weird. Why there's no crime against being weird? I'm weird. Hell, as weirdness is on a spectrum. I know a sister who mama dated Wayne Williams. I know a sister. That's how close this shit is. Like I tell you, I know people that knew Jeffrey Dahmer, or know people that knew Jeffrey Dahmer. We all just several degrees or 6 degrees of separation. I got a friend who was part of Obama's legal counsel in the White House. And he went to school with me in college. So, I mean, you ain't that far away from connected to people that you think you are. You just got to do some study and research and reflection. But Wayne Williams didn't do that. Atlanta always been a psyop. That's why you got the Centers for Disease Control down there. Y'all forgot about Dr. Timothy Cunningham. You know, Dr. Timothy Cunningham, they found him in that river in Atlanta. No, they changed the narrative on him. Like they were saying he was trying to reveal that there was a plot against black people, some form of genocide with the vaccination, with the jabbing theories. I ain't gonna get it. You know what's weird about that case? It's like they kind of scrubbed the internet of him. And then also they had character assassinate Dr. Timothy Cunningham. Because now they're trying to like he was distraught over a love situation. Like I think he went to Morehouse. They're trying to imply that he was homosexual. Then they tried to imply that he was dealing like some type of love triangle with a female. It's so many different things. But what we do know is that it was weird that the CDC came out. They said, we didn't kill him. He didn't have a high enough security clearance. That's what they said. They said, why would we kill him? He didn't have a high enough security clearance. And my understanding was he was denied a major promotion the day he disappeared. That he was due for a major promotion. They denied him. The police agreed with that he was denied the promotion. His family even said he was denied the promotion. But the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, said we gave him the promotion. I'm going with the family. I even side with the police on this one. You can't trust the CDC, man. Atlanta is not that far from Tuskegee, where they had that thing, the syphilis experiment, right? The study. So all this stuff is, this stuff is weird, but we don't even talk about Dr. Timothy Cunningham. That's how people, we know we ain't focused on nothing. We can't stay still long enough to study anything, to really learn anything. That's why I talk his name. We don't even talk about the sister they try to put as the front person for the jabbing movement, the jabbers. Because not now, when we were talking about, we found out about that the face of the syphilis thing at Tuskegee was a black woman named Nurse Rivers, right? Eunice Rivers. That movie from HBO, Miss Evers Boys, is about her. But you know how sad this system is? They don't give a damn about black people, because had they exposed them back in the 30s, it would have stopped in the 30s. It wasn't until the 70s when the Washington Post, I believe, wrote a story about what was going on that it stopped after decades of them destroying black lives, black families, black people. That's systemic genocide. Then you tell me there's no systemic racism. Hell, you got systemic genocide right there. Even Slavery by Another Name, that white man wrote that book about how the prison, like, look at you. I'm in Memphis, right? We had a statue of the first Grand Wizard of KKK, Nathan Bedford Forrest. He's one of the founders and fathers of the private prison movement, because after the Civil War ended, he worked this land called President's Island. It's an island in the Mississippi River between Memphis and Arkansas. He had a lucrative convict leasing contract where he got black folks to work the land. He got them as prisoners to work the land. Even started his own city in Arkansas called Forest City, Arkansas. This is where Al Green is from. And also when T.I. went to jail for them federal gun charges, he was doing his time in Forest City, Arkansas. That's over there in Arkansas, right? So he made money even off of slaves, Slavery by Another Name. We don't do enough study. We don't do it. And we keep on wondering why things keep on happening to us. It's not that we should wonder why. We should understand how we wondering why still in 2021 that these things happen to us. When you do not act in your best interest, things will always happen to you instead of you making things happen for you. When you don't understand your value and worth and what you need to be doing, things will always happen to you instead of you making things happen for yourself. It's not about what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you that determines your success or failure. It's not what happens, because shit happens. Like, you know, like I said, I had a hole in my foot for most of the year because I was doing some things that in hindsight I shouldn't have been doing. Then I said, hey, wait a minute, this ain't getting better. Let me go check in with the folks I don't trust. And I was blessed. I got black people that love black people to look out for me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I would get all these. I had a black doctor. He said, brother, we're going to make sure you're good. Black nurses. Now, all black folks ain't kin folk. All skin folks ain't good folk. No, for black folk. But these were black folks that love black people. They look, brother, we're going to take care of this, what you need to do. And now things are moving in the right direction. And I'm thankful for that. And really, you know, having a praying black mother and the ancestors, they protect you. Like they told me, brother Ron, if you do what you got to do, amplify our messages, get the word out, we'll protect you. We'll help you do this work. I guess the stream is strong now. This is crazy. Y'all tell me y'all can hear me. I think it's correct. We black folks are indigenous to the planet, man. We keep on saying we indigenous to man. We everywhere. Black folks everywhere. Even when Columbus, everywhere he went, he saw nothing but black people. We've been here. You know what? I would say this about that. No, we should stay because this is our birthright. This land is our land. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California, we do all that. This is our land. Well, I'm going to leave something. We just got to get a backbone and grow some roots, damn it. Stop letting folks push us around. Black people are the most bullied people on the planet, man. We are the most despised because people know who we were. We don't know who we were. People know. It's they said the ancestral memory, ancestral trauma. The white folks knew who we were once upon a time. We were on top of everything. I have just now realized not too long ago the reason why white folks treat me the way they do, some of them do, I ain't saying all of them, is because my ancestors, some of them were badasses. My great-grandfather, my paternal grandmother, father killed a white man for disrespecting his mama. He had to leave South Carolina, changed his name from Perret to French, settled in Kansas City, Kansas area, became an entrepreneur, was a master barber by trade, owned a pool hall, had 10 kids late. He had my grandma when he was about 65 or 66. That give me hope. You know, in hindsight, I wish I would have had kids earlier, but we'll see how this works, man. This is interesting. I'm 41, man, but I need to bust me some before I get out of here. But I'm working on that. I'm very single, by the way. But anyway, he was a badass. I had another ancestor. I mean, I had some badass. I come from some badasses, man. I come from some badass. U.S. colored troops, American Revolutionary soldiers. I get into them trees, man. We all as black folks need to reclaim our narratives and stuff. We worry about was Harriet Tubman real or Nat Turner was. Look, I went down. I'm getting all over the place, but I went to Southampton, Virginia, back in 2016, around the time when the Birth of the Nation movie came out. I went down there to do some research, and I went down to Southampton, and it was weird. I mean, Southampton is like it's like almost like a southern version of Twin Peaks. It's a strange place to me, and I'm from Tennessee. I'm a weird dude, but I went to the courthouse where they supposedly was keeping the machete of Nat Turner. He wouldn't let me see it. Like, I interviewed a white man. It's on his channel. I interviewed a white man, and he said, "We got the machete." I said, "Can I see it?" He wouldn't let me see it, and then allegedly, the former mayor of Gary, Indiana, he was in possession of Nat Turner's skull, and they returned it to the family members of Nat Turner. But there was no public ceremony for it, right? I mean, that's weird. Why do you want to have no public ceremony for the return of Nat Turner's skull? Because if you understand what happened to Nat Turner's body, they kind of didn't like Braveheart. They destroyed his body. They used his body to make furniture. They used Nat Turner's body to make furniture, allegedly. So you got white folks with heirlooms that come from Nat Turner's body, allegedly, if he's real. I don't know. I wasn't there. It's fascinating. But he wouldn't let me see the machete, right? So I interviewed him. But you know, the African American Museum, the Smithsonian, DC, they got the Bible of Nat Turner on display, or they did have it on display back in October 2016. Thank you. But I mean, like I respect Dan Calloway because he makes you think. He said, I'm just here to make you think. You got to start thinking about this stuff. Because I learned, I went down to Eastern Shore, Maryland, they call it. I went to the birthplace of Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. It's like they got a sundown mentality in that part of Maryland. It's fascinating. And me and my sister up here taking pictures with the big old daisy flowers. And we just oblivious to this stuff. It was strange. Actually, a black cop pulled us, he stopped and he was asking about us because we were taking pictures on the highway near the Frederick Douglass market where he's allegedly was born. And it's almost dark. I mean, we just naive about shit. It's just like, we're taking pictures. And this black cop pulled over, checking in, see what's going on. Luckily, we got out of right in time, but I don't know. How could Harriet Tubman sign things if she was functionally illiterate? Now, that's a good point. If she was, I heard she couldn't read or write. So how could she sign her name on things unless the X was hers and then somebody wrote Harriet Tubman for her? I don't know what to make of that. No, you got pictures of a person that said this, then she had another name. So these are things that I think people shouldn't dismiss. It's like the flat earth theory. But my thing is I try to stay in my lane. There's a lot of stuff to get you clogged up. But what I have learned, I talked to a rocket scientist from NASA. I actually met this rocket scientist from NASA. He told me, Ron, science is not what people think it is. It's more like educated guessing. Nothing's really exact because the narrative always changes when more data becomes available. It's like with Einstein's theory of relativity. The establishment wasn't all in on that. It took him almost 20 years to get some validation that his theory of relativity had some merit. It took Einstein maybe about 15 years for it to catch up with the rest of the people. So I don't know what to make of all this stuff. Thank y'all, John T. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. We love you madly. Staying true, bro. Thank you, sister. Time Q Celador. We love you madly. Just doing my first show. We're having some little technical difficulties, but the people been riding with me for the most part. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I get all long-winded and tongue-tied and this type of stuff. But I'm about to check this stream out and see what's going on and probably look at some options because like I said, I want to do some shows this weekend. I don't want all this foolery going on while I'm trying to do the show. Yeah, we are all one of a kind. Thank you, brother Julius Horn, for the donation. We love you madly. We love you madly. Thank you so much. And thank you, brother Bill B. I think you're a brother. I don't know. Sometimes I be seeing people's name, might be a female, whatever. But thank you. I appreciate it. I received that. But our people, man, time is up, man. Bobby Dick Gregory said playtime is over. He checked out of here. You see how he checked out of here. And like I said, Dick Gregory be everywhere, man. Dick Gregory, it's amazing how many times I hear the name Dick Gregory in one day. Like people say, do you miss Dick Gregory? I say he never went anywhere. He's here, but he's freer to move around. He's freer to move around now, but things have come to pass. Y'all keep on saying, well, he said so-and-so was the last president. I said, think about it. Do you believe that he got more votes than anybody in history? This current dude, this person, okay, to let you know, yeah, it was true. But what I'm saying is, it's more important for you to think and be willing to think and be willing to be alone sometimes. Sometimes it's best that you be left to your thoughts so you become more understanding or overstanding who you are and where you stand on things. Because a lot of us don't really overstand who we are. I'm talking about as individuals. Forget the collective thing for a moment. Who are you? And so if you can understand who you are, you can understand what you can bring. What's your leverage? All that stuff. I mean, because my thing is we too concerned about what somebody else is holding, what somebody else is doing, but what you doing? What's in your hand, man? Yeah, bro, Dick was telling the truth. Yeah, feel free. I appreciate it because I love jazz, sister, And actually, I'm doing something in Memphis on June the 6th. We'll be honoring Jimmy Lunsford on his birthday. We'll also be doing a concert with some of the folks we was supposed to honor, but because of what happened last year. But we did do, y'all did know we did Jimmy Lunsford, right? I did a festival, an online festival through WeAllBTV, where I did interviews of some of the honorees, and we talked about Johnny Ace and other things like that. And I actually got it in the playlist on WeAllBTV because the show must go on. But yeah, we're gonna do a you know, in June is Black Music Appreciation Month. I don't care what type of rainbow agenda they got. June is still Black Music Appreciation Month. That's all I got to say. And we're gonna celebrate that because April was Jazz Appreciation Month, and I want to do some things. My thing is, I got so many things I want to do, man. My mind, my interests be all over the place. I'm not, you know, my thing is, as I get older, I'm not really concerned about what people do as individuals. Whatever your choice, whoever you want to be with, whoever you want to be. If you want to take this, you want to take that, that's your business. My job is just to present information and to create a narrative that could get your attention so you could create your own narrative off that narrative. You could challenge it or you could go with it. But my thing is, I just want to free us to not constrain ourselves, to not limit ourselves by this so-called system that don't see us as full and whole human beings. But you got to find a way to free yourself. I just want to know it's possible. It's like, you know, when I do my music thing, yeah, I'm related to these famous people. I don't, you know, that's cool. I didn't know that growing up, though. You know, my thing is, if we know some of the things, like the people that discovered that their family just survived the Tulsa Black Wall Street massacre, like the parents and the grandparents, they didn't know that until they were grown. You understand? You know how much of a difference that would make growing up knowing this information, so you know how to deal with this beast, this system. It's like I learned about Emmett Till and Medgar Evers and Burt Williams because my grandma had an encyclopedia book on Black history from World Book in the 70s. So I used to be in the elementary school. I'll sit in her living room, whatever, and read this book for hours. They wasn't teaching me about no Medgar Evers and Du Bois and no dang elementary. No disrespect to school, but school's not there to teach you knowledge itself. It's there to help you get the tools or skills to navigate this wicked system so you can make some type of living, so you can make some type of way for yourself. But really, the roots of who you are start at home. I used to love just listening to the elders talk about, you know, their days in Mississippi, you know, on the farm and stuff and all this stuff. Not always ask questions, just listen. That's how you learn. Yeah, but, you know, the goal is, it just... My thing is, you can only save yourself. I'm just letting folks know, hey, you know, you might want to consider this. It's another way of looking at that. Like I tell my mom all the time, if I thought the way they thought about things, I probably wouldn't still be here right now. My way, I think different. It's like I look at, you know, people say, you know, everybody ain't gonna like what you do, and I'm an artist. Everybody ain't gonna like my art. You can get this art at r2c2h2.com. But the thing about my trumpet playing, it's not important that, you know, I get everything right. It's not, to me, like, it's about expression. Because my life is perfect imperfections. It's a lot of perfect imperfection or imperfect perfection moments, whatever you want to say. But my thing is, I'm trying to learn me. Because, like, people are embarrassed by themselves. You understand how people get so embarrassed that they look at social media, and social media is just an illusion because people are not really living their lives. Like, you try to compare your beauty standards to what you see on the cover of a magazine. I promise you, Cardi B do not look like how she look like on the magazines. You can ask Offset why he, you know, I ain't gonna get into all that, but I'm saying, I'm sure she don't look like that in the morning. You know, they do a lot of air, you call it, you know, the air stuff. They filter, edit everything through filters. We see things through filters via social media. And Picasso said it best. He said, art is a lie that makes you realize truth. Just like I'm learning how to be comfortable, but not always hitting the note. Like, it's life. You know, you get close to a goal and you don't get it, but you close. See, it says what it says in it says the pursuit of happiness, right? It didn't say you're gonna be happy, but you should be guaranteed the pursuit. You should be allowed to pursue what makes you happy or you think may make you happy. See, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. We are all on this journey, whether as individuals as well as a collective. These are journeys we are on. And my thing is, I just want to get people to know that, hey, there's more than one way to get where you want to go. There is more than one way to get to where you want to go or where you want to be. Thank you, brother Rashawn. I got to return your email, bro. And like I said, I've been in my own little, I guess it's like a mini midlife crisis, but I want to, send blessings to you and your wife. I know y'all been through some things recently, but I want to let you know, bro, that everything happens for a reason. If you can understand that you are the reason for the happening, that you are here for a reason. And it's not important that we understand what that reason is, but it should be important to you that you understand what that reason is for you to be here and for your contribution. And you make it what you want. Because you named after the great Rashawn Roland Kirk, man. And he definitely was here for a reason. I mean, he did what he did so well that people had to take him seriously. They say, oh, it's gimmicky. Well, Rashawn have all these interests, but he played them so well. And he played them together, but he knew who he was. He knew who he was. And he never compromised who he was just to fit in. So I'm telling people, do not compromise who you are just to fit in. Stand out and be proud. No, you can't be, because you'll never be able to perform. See, life is just performance art. I had a teacher one time tell me the only way you fail if you stop trying. So even if I try to hit that high note, I don't get it. If I keep on trying, I didn't fail. That's how you got to look at life. Even though, it's not about getting everything you want. It's about just doing things. Don't let things you perceive as obstacles or, stop you from doing what you want to do. Because like you look at art, right? The same issues I have with art, Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, they face the same type of issues of art that I face. So they were so-called masters, right? But we're still dealing with these issues. And I remember like Miles Davis, he reads the autobiography. His father told him, son, if you're going to be a musician, don't be a mockingbird. Be your own man, have your own sound. So whatever you do, be yourself. So that's how you make your authentic contribution to the world. A blessing, bro. I owe you that because I know time been going by fast. I can't believe it's Thursday, about to be Friday, about to be the weekend. Yeah. Check out Brother Indigenous. There you go. You never know, man. You never know. You never know. I mean, life, everybody, like I said, 6 degrees of separation for real. Everybody's connected. We don't know. It's like, we all kissing cousins, really. You think about it. I say, well, I'm related to all these famous people. I can still be related to you. You can be related to me. You might got people in your tree that's impressed. You might be related to Paul Robeson. I don't know. We don't know because we don't investigate. We don't shake the trees. We should have shake the trees. Like I went down to Natchez, Mississippi. And it's a thing, like I said, the Rhythm Club Fire thing. I'm gonna do a show about that. But also, this is where the Devil's Punch Bowl is located. They say they let them 20,000 black people die in that hole near the Mississippi River. We actually went there to pay our respects. And now the way you go there, if you want to go to the bluff overlooking the Devil's Punch Bowl, you go down this road called Cemetery Road. It'll be on your left-hand side. It'd be the Natchez National Cemetery. This is the military cemetery that I believe called the Natchez National Cemetery. And they don't have no historic marker, but trust me, you'll find out what the Devil Punch Bowl is without no problem. Because it was weird going down there that we was asking the locals about the Devil's Punch Bowl. We asked the black folks. Some of the black folks, like this young black dude, didn't know. We asked a young white guy. He knew. Hey, yeah, you go down Cemetery Road and it's right here on your left. Asked some elders, they knew. But like the young black folks didn't know. And even out-of-town white folks knew where the Devil's Punch Bowl. See, they teach this stuff. They teach, it's part of their narrative. Like, yeah, we're better than, look what we did to these niggas. We let them die. We told them bury them where they died, where they dropped. Yeah, the greater, there's a saying, the greater the artist, the greater insecurity, right? It's part of life, though. Because when you look at celebrities, think about celebrities, they have a need to be loved, to be wanted. If you look at a lot of these celebrities' backgrounds, a lot of them been abused. on all mentally, physically, sexual, whatever you want to call it, they've been abused. But that's just humanity. But people, even you look at the toughest criminal, they looking for some type of love and exceptions. You know, a lot of people do things out of rejection, do horrible things to themselves and other people out of rejection. Now, I look at DMX, you know, people say that's a tragedy. I don't look at it as a tragedy at all. Look at it, his life as a blessing because of what he was able to do with his gifts in spite of his traumas. He was able to contribute to humanity. I mean, reading stuff like people saying, well, he cured my fear of dogs because of his music and his persona. That's really amazing. You know, and he was a giver because he said, I want to give. You give a blessing, be a blessing to other people, give only, but give. And as a Taurus, I love giving. Sometimes it get me in trouble though. But yeah, creativity, you know, how can you say anything if you haven't been through anything? How can you say anything if you haven't been through anything? Look at Billie Holiday. She's not tragic to me. People say, oh, she died at 44. You know, people die at 44, don't leave nothing of meaning for generations to come. She left amazing art to be listened to and enjoyed for generations. I mean, if you just listen to her. I mean, don't just look at no Lee Daniels movie or no Diana Ross, Barry Gordy movie about Billie Holiday. You can go on YouTube and listen to her in her own voice. You'd be amazed at how articulate and clear she sounds about her art. You know, and I was amazed that she wrote as many songs as she wrote. Now, she didn't write Strange Fruit, but she wrote God Bless a Child. Come on, that's a powerful song. So anyway, I think I've been on here long enough. Yeah, people are saying he's talking too much. He's talking loud. So I'm gonna tone it down. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in for this edition of The Art of His Things. We all be news, radio, and TV. And thank y'all for the donations coming in. Garcia Incorporated, I think Garcia. Thank you for the donation. We love you madly. Thank y'all for your, the best is yet to come. But thank you, Sean Fenty. Love you madly. Thank you so much, man. I need y'all to know this stuff answer my prayers. But I hope I could be a blessing to you all still. And like I said, I'm gonna get this streaming thing situated. We'll see. I probably have to edit the beginning of the replay. I'm interested in watching the replay myself. And we love you, man. And you should do that, man. It's our time. Because people look at this like the government never did anything for the benefit of black folks. The reason why they did all this surplus stuff is to benefit the white people. Welfare was created to help white people. Black folks been struggling. We always been catching hell in this country. A lot of times we be asking to be the firemen and women while we on fire ourselves. We always putting out America's fire. They never loved us enough to take care of us, but we are the chosen people. We are the universe soul people. That's why they're trying to figure us out. They can't, then we do all this stuff to black folks and they don't even want to kill us because we are God's people. But God's people got to understand our worth to each other. We got to learn how to forgive each other, forgive ourselves for the hell we allow ourselves to catch, because they can't give us hell. We allow ourselves to catch the hell that we catch because we don't want to deal with us and overstand who we are. So they know who we are. We forgot that we knew, but they overstand who we are. But the thing about the Biden thing, it never hurted black people either way. We're going to find a way to survive because that's who we are. We're very resilient people. We're very resourceful people. They gave us the worst of everything. They gave us the pig, we made cuisine. Gave us chicken, we made cuisine. We made it, we make this stuff into a high art. Because we are the magicians, we are the alchemists of humanity. We created country music. You call it country, you call it this and that, but it's come from us. All this stuff come from us. It all comes from us. Yeah, we are the chosen ones. And this is not about no supremacy thing. See, too much is given, much is expected. That's why we give so much. That's why we have sacrificed so much. But what we don't understand is how to put ourselves first, how to take care of ourselves first. That's what's missing. We take care of everybody but ourselves. Therein lies the problem, that martyr complex. We got to break that martyr complex. Like I said, Malcolm just shouldn't have to die in front of his family like that. And we still don't respect Malcolm. We still got to say, I don't mean, when I say by any means necessary, I don't mean it. Then don't say by any means necessary. That's all. Don't say it if you don't mean it. Like Malcolm said, if you don't believe in the word freedom, then take it out of your vocabulary. Don't say freedom if you don't believe in freedom. Don't say liberation if you're afraid to be liberated. That's all. Just be true to thy own self. Be true. Don't say things you don't mean right now, because this is a place, we are in a space of manifestation. And if you always focus on the things you don't want, then this is all you have, the things you don't need or don't desire. So we got to learn how to train ourselves. It's like anything. It's like, well, it's funny with high blood pressure mess, take care of yourself. But here's the thing. I remember, I did my holding my foot thing. I went to urgent care, right? I was laughing and joking with the nurse and stuff. She took my blood pressure. Oh, it's good. You got good blood pressure. Next week, I'm in another. I hate going to these places like the doctor. It make you like anxious, and your blood pressure, it fluctuates throughout the day, given activity, all this BS. And they say, oh, it's very high. Okay, and today it was very high at the dentist because she all, we talking and I'm excited, I'm animated. Get to the the wound care specialist. We was talking and laughing. She said, okay, it's hot. Let me take it over again. Let me give you about 10 minutes. Come back, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Everything is weird, man, because you don't know what to believe. But what I do know is that the fact that we as individuals got to learn how to forgive ourselves, be patient and loving towards ourselves. Stop undermining our success by talking down on ourselves, talking negativity over ourselves. We got to stop doing it as an individual so you can learn how to practice it with other people that look like us. Yeah, they should. I mean, black folks, when we was forced in the corner, Jim Crow was good for us in a way because it forced us to deal with us. It forced us to deal with us. And when we forced in the corner, we found a way to adapt. We found a way to leverage. We found a way to achieve. That's why they can't stand us, because we are the cream of the crop. But what we got to understand, black males must choose to be men in this period. You must choose. Our women cannot lead us. No disrespect to the sisters. Think about it. Name me one black female mayor that you say is on the level of a Maynard Jackson, Marion Barry, Harold Washington, and even Coleman Young. Name me one black female mayor that's on that level like that. There's a reason for that. Black men are needed. Black men, we must take our proper place at the table. We must come back to the family because black men are needed. Men. And the thing about it is, even if you open up the can of worms called, the polyamorous and polygamy thing, just because he can have a baby with you don't mean he can raise that baby. Just because you have the function of having babies don't mean you make a great father or great mother. You got to think about how we've been programmed. You think about buck breaking. I haven't seen buck breaking, but you think about the sex farms, how they bred us like horses and stuff like that, like cattle. How you have the boy sleeping with his mom, his aunt or sister, the MFer, right? On these sex farms in Virginia and Maryland and places like that. They did everything to destroy our relationships within our family setting. But after the Civil War, one of the first things black folks did was try to find family members that was broken up by the auction block, by slavery. That's why family reunions were so important to us. We need to get back to wanting to know each other, wanting to know our roots and stuff, and shake up these trees, and stop letting these folks game us against each other. Stop letting how you see black women come from the eyes of the mainstream media, or how you see black men come from the eyes of the mainstream media. We got to start communicating with each other, because the only way we get ahead is as a group. Dr. King said in his last speech, not that far from where I'm at right now, he said, we as a people shall get to the promised land. So we as a people got to start dealing with us as a people, and deal with the people that you can. Form your family, form your tribes, your herds, and all this stuff. Like I said, all skin folk and kin folk, All no, and all kinfolk don't got your best interest. You just gotta find your way, because these are journeys that we're taking. Yeah, I like Kevin Samuels. I like Dr. Umar. Actually, I don't have no problem with Dr. Umar. Umar is brilliant. You know, he's just a man. We all got flaws. I'm not hung up on the schools, because I had a good experience when I first met Dr. Umar in Knoxville, and he let us in on himself, and he was good. He's a good guy. But I can, you know, and everybody, trust me, you follow me around 24 hours, you see some things you'll be disappointed in. I'm just a human being. Thank you, brother Shakim, and blessings to you. This is your mama's birthday, the beautiful woman that gave birth to you. I know she passed last year, but she left a powerful tree in you. You are her living legacy. So thank you, brother. And thank you for your grandfather, the late, great Alfred Skip Robinson. You come from mighty trees. I look forward to seeing the things that you can do and that you will do. And don't be a stranger. We need to do another live stream, actually, and have you on as well, brother Shakim. But thank you so much, and happy born day to your beautiful mom. She is there with you in spirit. She is truly a righteous ancestor. She's looking out for you. She's guiding and protecting you along with your grandfather and your other ancestors. Got a powerful bloodline. Yeah, I need to look at Alfred Skip Robinson. No problem, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, I to me right now, I'm just going through my little midlife crisis. I ain't gonna talk about it too much, but it's good to reconnect with the family. Yeah, gratitude indeed, man. Like y'all gotta look, man. We gotta know after this. He come from Holly Springs. This guy in Alfred Skip Robinson from Holly Springs. Holly Springs produced Ida B. Wells and Robert Church Sr. The Mississippi Delta is a very powerful place. It's a very spiritual place. You know, this is not. We are not average people by any means. We got a lot to stop letting people define who we are and start defining ourselves for us, and be one. You know, be one, be together like Voltron. Come together like Voltron. I'm an 80s baby. Y'all know about Voltron and all this stuff. You come together as one. Or some of y'all Power Rangers. But thank y'all so much. I've been on here a long time. And thank y'all. If you like the words of Brother Herb, please spread the word. I didn't actually get to everything I wanted to get to, but I guess I'll leave y'all with this, because we talked about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I visited Greenwood, Mississippi. This is what I love about the Delta, because people always talk about, let's go overseas. Shit, you got shit in your backyard that's amazing. It's shit in Mississippi, in Tennessee, and Arkansas, and whatever you live in, Maryland, Virginia. There's some amazing places just 30 minutes to an hour or two away from you, and you're not even taking a chance to explore it. Now you look at Greenwood, Mississippi. I went to Robert Johnson's birthday was May the 8th. I took my mom, my sister down to Greenwood. Greenwood's a very powerful place in the Delta. I'm gonna tell you why it's an interesting place. We went to Little Zion Missionary Baptist Church down there. You know, Robert Johnson is allegedly buried in the church cemetery. Now I do believe he's buried there, based on what I read and researched, that his actual body is somewhere in the cemetery near that tombstone marker where he's buried at. And the thing about Greenwood is interesting, because that cemetery, that church is not that far away from Money, Mississippi, where that Bryan store where Emmett Till had that encounter with the white woman, Carolyn Bryan, who's still alive. It's not that, it's just like several country miles away from that. And also Greenwood is where Kwame Ture, some of y'all know him as Stokely Carmichael. Kwame Ture gave his famous Black Power speech in Greenwood, Mississippi back in the 60s. He coined the phrase Black Power. And also Greenwood is the place that Dick Gregory saved when the U.S. government cut off the benefits for the Black folks in Greenwood back in 63. When the Kennedy administration, their people cut off the benefits for the Black folks because they wanted to register to vote. Dick Gregory, send all that food and supplies down there on his own dime with the help of Hugh Hefner, Playboy. They got a plane full of food and supplies, and they brought it to the people of Greenwood. Dick Gregory did that. And that led for the inspiration for Freedom Summer 1964. This has been documented that the people like Bob Moses, I met Bob Moses, a great man, great educator and activist from Harlem, New York. He went down to Mississippi. He said they were inspired by Dick Gregory saving the Black people of Greenwood, Mississippi. This one Black man did that. He got the white man, Hugh Hefner, to help him get this plane of food. When the government cut them off, the Democratic government cut off the Black folks in Greenwood because they dared the rest of the vote. Dick Gregory had the balls to get a plane full of food and supplies and brought it to the Black folks. And that led to Freedom Summer of 64. That one act that he did of generosity, of humanity led to them doing freedom summer of 64. And that led, think about what happened to Swerner, Cheney, and Goodman, the 3 civil rights workers. That led to the Civil Rights Act of 64, led to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So Dick Gregory don't get enough credit. So when he was cursing and stuff like that, you got to understand, he was a G. He was an OG. He was frontline warrior. He was shell shocked. He was dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of his best friends died before they was 40 years old. Some of them got assassinated before their family. So I get it. He been through a lot of shit. So, but he did a lot of good that we have yet to understand about Dick Gregory. So that's Greenwood. And also, Greenwood, Robert Johnson was poisoned by the club owner. He played at the Three Forks Club down in Greenwood, outside of Greenwood. Allegedly, he was sleeping with the club owner's wife. The club owner put some stuff into alcohol. And what probably happened to him, because it's funny how white folks so interested in Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson was not that well known. They have you thinking of Robert Johnson was like Michael Jackson, how these white folks portrayed him. When Robert Johnson died, nobody knew he was dead, except for a few people. Like John Hammond, the guy who discovered Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen. That John Hammond, he sent somebody to look for Robert Johnson because he had a concert back in 1938 called Spirituals to Swing, the Spirituals to Swing concert, which featured Count Basie and Billie Holiday. He heard of Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson's biggest seller, as far as a song, as a record, was Terraplane Blues, which sold about 5,000 copies when he was alive. Like I said, he was not that well known. It wasn't until John Hammond didn't know he was dead until the guy he sent down there to look for Robert Johnson said, "Oh, he passed away back in August." And I told you, Peter Wheatstraw, you had the white newspapers and the industry papers telling him that how he died on his birthday doing a beer run. And we don't even talk about Peter Wheatstraw unless you talk about Dolomite. So this is where we at, people. But Robert Johnson, I don't know why I'm talking about, but yeah, it's Greenwood. So all this happened in Greenwood, right? Got the Dick Gregory thing, got the Black Power thing, you got the Emmett Till thing, you got the Robert Johnson thing. And then also back in 2010, you had the hanging death of Frederick Jermaine Carter in Greenwood, Mississippi. It was a black boy who was originally from Massachusetts. He lived in Sunflower County down in Mississippi with his mom and his stepfather. Now, what's weird about this case, they found him hanging from a tree near a dog kennel in an affluent white neighborhood. And it's like, y'all gotta come to Greenwood. I didn't say stay in Greenwood, but it's amazing when you go into Greenwood. It's the tale of two cities, or two towns. Like, it's basically like you got the good side of the tracks and the bad side of the tracks. Where you got these palatial homes. You got these brilliant modern homes, some antebellum homes, going with the wind type homes, big palatial homes. And then as soon as you cross them tracks, you got the hood. Got these shotgun homes and stuff. It's like, man, Mississippi is it's a land of extremes, of extreme wealth and extreme poverty, of extreme joy and extreme misery. That's the Mississippi Delta right there. It made Bobby Kennedy cry when he came down to Mississippi to see how poor the people was living down here. But yeah, I investigated that. And Farrakhan, to his credit, the Nation of Islam, they put his picture of him hanging from a tree on the front page of the Final Call in December. And they helped organize the funeral for the homegoing of our brother, Frederick Jermaine Carter. My thing was, I did a whole investigative journalism series on what happened to him. I interviewed the sheriff, the coroner. What was crazy about that case, right? They found him hanging on a tree back in early December of 2010. Now, the people, there's a path back there. It's by the Tallahatchie River where they found Emmett Till's body. I said everything is real close. And people didn't say that they didn't see him hanging in the tree that morning. But by noon, they saw him hanging from the tree. And the coroner said he was dead for 48 hours. So who put him at that tree? And there was a dog kennel back there. It was an affluent white neighborhood. So why would he come? They said it was a suicide. First they said we want to investigate, it was a hanging. Then they said it was a suicide, and they swept it on the rug. Now, a couple months went by. Didn't get no official word from the state medical examiner, Dr. A.L.L Shaker, who was from Africa. He was a world-class, well-known forensic scientist, but he was the state's medical examiner. I had a chance to talk to him on phone. He confirmed that he did not rule it a suicide, but he said it was a hanging pending investigation. That was breaking news because there was nothing done for a couple of months until I got involved, just calling around, talking to people. And he lost his job because of him being a whistleblower. It wasn't even him being a whistleblower. It was him just being honest. He didn't agree that it was a suicide. He thought it was fishy, and it cost him his job. Now, I'm not gonna get to all that on here, but the thing about it is, that's Greenwood, right? I tell you all this history, all this stuff. The past is never past. The same stuff that Robert Johnson, Dick Gregory was dealing with back in the day, we still dealing with that. So the past is never past. The past is never past. Yeah, I love Son House, man. I like Willie Brown, my guy friend Willie Brown, and Charlie Patton. I still can't believe Charlie Patton has not been in Rock and Roll. They're just now putting Charlie Patton in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. See, Robert Johnson was inspired by people like Son House and Charlie Patton and Willie Brown and people like that. But that's another story. Yeah, I am well rested, huh? Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the love. I just gotta get the stream. The stream just drive me crazy, man. Even though I've been on here for almost 3 hours. But I want to thank y'all. But the close, I talk too much anyway. But all I'm saying is, before y'all just, I mean, yeah, I need to go overseas too. I might have to do that jabbing thing to get over. But I'm saying it's so much stuff that's unexplored here in your own backyard. And if you live in the Mississippi Delta, do yourself a favor. Let's take a couple of road trips, man. Let's take a road trip. Oh, let's go to Tulsa. Tulsa's like, what I love about living in Memphis is that you only 2 to 8 or 9 hours away from where you want to be. Oh, I don't want to be in Memphis. Well, go. You that's 3 hours away from Nashville, or 6 hours away from Atlanta, 6 hours away from New Orleans, 9 hours away from Houston, 6, 7 hours from Dallas. You hit that far. For Chicago, maybe like 8 hours, depending on how you drive. Memphis is the middle of the country. It's the distribution hub of the country. I don't know if y'all know that the I-40 bridge is a major bridge to connect Tennessee to Arkansas, Memphis to Arkansas, West Memphis. It has a crack. And thank God they caught that crack in time, because a lot of folks could be dead right now. Could be one of the biggest bridge tragedies in American history, because 41,000 vehicles cross that bridge on a daily basis. So they got the old I-55 reinforced, but I don't know if they could take all that punishment on that old ass bridge, the I-55. Because I mean, we was coming back from Tulsa, we got caught in a real bad thunderstorm, rainstorm, like flooding and everything. And I'll tell my sister, I'm kind of nervous about crossing the I-55 bridge, because shit, it's a lot of rain, Old Testament type of rain. I'm hoping ain't no hole in the bridge. Not realizing that the one bridge we should be concerned about was the so-called newer bridge, the I-40 bridge. But that also was the bridge where the Black Lives Matter people protested and marched and shut it down. But that's a major, that's money that's messing up, because they got the I-55 bridge, and the other bridge is in Helena. You got to go down 61 to connect. So that's money that's being messed over. They talking about the pipeline and all this. It's a lot of money being messed over right now. So it's an interesting time to be alive. I don't know why I brought all that up, but y'all got to stop. What I'm saying, but yeah, all I'm saying is, man, I'm excited. You know, it seems like it should be a downtime. If you survive 2020, if we could survive 2020, we could survive anything. So this is just a cakewalk for Black people. But what I want us to do is start focusing on ourselves first and help you, and start being a friend to ourselves. Like, really, mental health is very important. I mean, they have done a lot to screw us over. I just want to give us a chance, and I know people like, give hope a chance or whatever, but I'm saying give Black a chance, give ourselves a chance. And be cognizant, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going down this summer. This is just a warm up to the BS that's coming. See, I'll take care of each other, look out for each other, but look out for yourself as well. And yeah, the I-40 thing is weird. It's just I prefer the old bridge, actually. Because like people, it's like even how they build houses now, they're not well built. If you go to Holly Springs, they got the Ida B. Wells Museum. It's in a house that was built by Ida B. Wells' father, who was a master carpenter. And, he built that home. That home is sturdy as hell. You got to think about tornadoes and everything that's been through there. That home is over 100 years old. It's well built. But now they just put up things like it's a pizza box or something. You living in, might be a Three Little Pigs home or something made out of straws, where they build these new homes. They don't build them to last. They're not built to last. But it was a time when they used to build things to make them last. They don't do that no more. Like, even cars now are built like soda cans, right? They easily crush. But I guess for safety reasons, if you think about what happened, what they say happened to Samuel Davis Jr., was it the steering wheel that poked his eye? Now, the old timers told me something different what happened to Samuel Davis Jr., but I'll leave that for another story, but another time. Okay. Well, thank y'all. I apologize for this streaming. It's like it's been holding up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the replay. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. Y'all can support. Thank y'all, Brother Rashawn, for the generous donation, man. Like I said, I owe you an email. My apologies. I just like been dealing with some stuff. Like I said, the hole in my foot. I didn't, you know how you just don't think about stuff until you think about stuff. I've been really rocking with a hole in my foot. Thinking it's okay. But anyway, everything is getting better though. Everything's good. But thank y'all for rocking with me. It feel good to be back. I feel like I feel like a virgin at first, man. I like a kind of weird, false starts and stuff like that. But yeah, that's good. Yeah, not built to last. It's how they make their money, because they could make a car that could last for 50 years. They could make a car that could run on water. But y'all heard about what happened to the dude? They had a car that he made a car that ran on water. They killed him at a restaurant. He died of some type of poisoning. Y'all can look that up. Do that, create a car that can run on water. That's crazy stuff. Late night with Brother Ron. Yeah, thank you, brother. Y'all, I love y'all. Y'all some good people, man. Y'all be rocking with me for years. It was just funny. Not funny at Howard, but y'all let me know, hey, I've been listening to you. I remember like when you was like this and stuff like that. It's cool. Like a lot of y'all like family, like how family is. We don't always get together, but be a funeral or something like that. And you see people, it'll be like a family reunion and stuff like that. But thank y'all for checking in on me, because some of y'all checked in on me and see what the hell was going on. Like I said, I was doing a lot of false starts. I want to do a show, and I said, no, I ain't gonna do the show tonight. And it stuff be coming up. I'm dealing with this other shit. I mean, excuse me, I don't mean to cursing, but I want to thank y'all. Y'all been very generous. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Brother John. Thank you, Brother Music, and condolences for your loss, man. Cause I know, man, I don't think about Mother's Day, man. Like so many people I know people that have lost their moms and stuff like that right now. I know it's a hard time. So even my mom, be some nagging and stuff going on, but that's your mom. You know what I'm saying? If anybody gonna love you, your mom gonna love you. You hope your mom will love you. Even like it's weird about moms, because even if you a horrible mom, your kids will still have love for you a lot of times. I mean, it's just weird about moms. Moms, it's like on Mother's Day, it's hard to find somewhere to eat. But on Father's Day, you don't even have to have a reservation at Ruth Chris, I think, to eat. You just go in, hey, it's Father's Day. Nobody cares about the father, but something about mamas that really hit them. Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's a pleasure to see your face. And Brother John, you right about that. I'm learning that lesson now. But thank y'all so much, man. I'm gonna end it with the Robert Johnson tribute I did, and I'm call it a night. But I'll be back soon. I won't be gone as long as I have been. But thank y'all. Y'all can support. All the people that have been sending donations and then help me celebrate my birthdays. I can treat other people. I appreciate it. We love y'all madly. Y'all know how to support Cash App, $R2C2H2. You can PayPal, Google Pay, or Zelle, R2C2H2 at gmail.com, Vimo at R2C2H2. You can buy art of his art. I have to update my website, R2C2H2.com. Rock art of his gear, of course, the Teespring shelf below the description. My Cash App is like right here. It's $ R2C2H2. That's the Cash App. And thank y'all for supporting. Like I said, we're gonna make this happen. It's good to be the people's voice. And y'all know how to get at me. Contact me R2C2H2 at gmail.com. So thank y'all so much. In the words of Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing, and be safe out there, family. And we'll see y'all again very soon. And I guess I need to read a let me see. Got no disclaimer. I mean, I'm just a host, but whatever. Let me see. Do a couple things. It's been interesting, right? 3 hours go by fast.
want to say thank you very much. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you very much. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. We love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. Jazznocracy yours, Brother Ron, also known as R2, C2, H2, the art of this. See how it works? Somewhere, y'all. One love. Do you?
Eye contact, elbow.
love you madly, Brother Robert Johnson. Thank you for blessing us with the gift of your music. Your voice will forever be young and will never ever grow old. Thank you. For future generations not born and yet to hear, and for those who are here and need to hear, we love you madly, Brother Robert. See you on the other side. Do you know what today is? It's your special day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Whoa, 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 it's your birthday. Talking about it's your birthday. And today is yours.